Heating, providing you with heating oil and off-road diesel fuel. Kemmler's Family Restaurant, Route 11 between Bloomsburg and Berwick. And by Wagner's Trophies and Engravables, Main Street in Bloomsburg. Now, stay tuned for the Sports Radio WHLM Game of the Week.
WHLM 930 Bloomsburg.
WBWX 1280 Berwick. 94.7 Berwick.
104.3 Bloomsburg.
105.5 Danville.
Conversation between Berwick Bulldogs head coach Frank Sheptock and the voice of the Dogs, Jim Doyle, on Sports Radio WHLM. Brought to you by First Columbia Bank and Trust, with you every step of the way. Yannick Real Estate, commercial and residential. Access Gymnastics Academy, East 7th Street in Bloomsburg. Hartman and Lally Insurers, Front Street in Berwick. Welch's Towing and Repair, towing, recovery, and lockout service. S.J. Kowalski, Heating and Cooling, the way the earth intended. Ken Pollock Ford Lincoln in Berwick. Make your drive a Ken Pollock Ford or Lincoln. And by your Berwick State Farm agents Lori Powell, Sean Black, and Melissa Price. Hometown agents who understand Berwick's needs. Now, here's Berwick Bulldogs head coach Frank Sheptock and the voice of the Dogs, Jim Doyle, on Sports Radio WHLM.
Well, it's senior night here at Crispin Field. The 18 Bulldog seniors will be recognized, as this will be the final regular season home game of their careers. But those seniors will have a chance to get themselves a few more games at Crispin Field if they can beat Dallas this evening. It's the 7-1 Mountaineers against the 7-1 Bulldogs with District 2 Quad A seeding implications. Bulldogs improved to 7-1 with last Friday's 61-13 rout of Crestwood here at Crispin Field. Frank, a season high in both points and total yards for your team. What did you do exceptionally well on that side?
Well, I thought we had a lot of balance with people running the ball. We got the option going a little bit, and then I thought the misdirection, Jim, was very much complemented the run game because we were able to do some things with some counteraction and things of that nature, and we were able to hit a couple play-action passes as well. Teagan out in the flat, and we hit Sean on a deep ball. We also had him on a deep ball earlier, so thought we were able to keep the defense off balance a little bit, and there was a lot of people touching the ball. Blake Mauer, Owen Shoemaker, Teagan Wilk, Aiden Mason, obviously Ryan Law. Just a lot of people with the ball in their hand.
Yeah, Ryan Lawball 5 for 8 in passing and had at least one drop. He showed that he can throw the football. You've probably seen that in practice, but no one has seen it on a Friday night until last Friday.
Well, sure, and in that first, his first debut against Hazleton in the second half, we're just trying to run the football and get back in the game. But he's a talented player, and obviously I think that, as he gets more experience, you'll be able to see more of his talent show through. It was only his second half of football, really. He's only played one full game between the second half of Hazleton and really the first half and a series in the second half against Crestwood, so I think his best is yet to come.
You mentioned Sean. Your nephew, Sean Sheptock, has been open deep 3 times in the 2 games that he has played so far. What does that do for your offense, having that deep threat?
Definitely stretches the defense a little bit more. Sean, had a very successful track season at Mount Carmel, went to the state championships in 3 events. So he brings a vertical threat just from a flat-out, I can outrun you type of thing like we've had the last couple of years with Beck Horn and Matt Champ and Alex Parks and, some of the people. Whenever you're able to stretch the field somewhat vertically as well, it helps your offense. So now we've been able to do that. And you saw that a little bit last week game where we're doing it horizontally, with the, trying to spread the field that way and then being able to go vertical as well.
I love when you talk about your offense's running game now, I love that counter option where you start one side and go to the other. That takes a lot of teamwork.
Sure, and definitely we're trying to do some things where you're giving them a lot of motion and then trying to counter some things up and give them some misdirection because the one thing that we like about the offense, Jim, is that number one, you get a lot of people involved. Obviously there's some wing T component to it. There's some option, there's some power running, so it really puts a lot of stress on the defense, and hopefully we could continue to be a dominant running team, and we feel that in District 2 that's one of the things that gives you the best opportunity to win and be successful, and we've been able to outrush all of our opponents with the exception of Valley View. We're going to need to do that tonight against Dallas.
Well, Crestwood did not score against the Bulldogs last Friday until the first-string defense was sitting it out. Up next, Frank will talk about that effort You're listening to the Coach Shep Talk Show on Sports Radio, WHLM.
Yannick Real Estate is your full-service real estate agency. Buying, selling, residential, commercial, multifamily, land, and rental management. Call Yannick Real Estate. Owner Mike Yannick, a veteran himself, served his country and has been serving this area for decades. Mike and his staff will guide you through the real estate process. Veterans, be sure to check the VA loan options. Yannick Real Estate, your full-service real estate agency. 1232 West Front Street in Berwick. Call 759-3300.
Whether it's the heat of the preseason or the heart of the postseason, teams will always get a little boost from playing at home. Speaking of a boost at home, State Farm can boost your savings when you combine your homeowner's insurance with your auto coverage. So score one for the home team. Talk to State Farm agents Lori Powell or Sean Black in Berwick, or Melissa Price in Nescapec about big savings for combining home and car coverage. Give State Farm agents Melissa Price, Sean Black, or Lori Powell a call today.
Are you looking to meet an elder care need? Do you or a loved one need assistance with any of the instrumental or basic activities of daily living? Brookdale Senior Living has a solution. Brookdale Bloomsburg, located at 420 Schaefer Road, is a premium personal care home offering a family atmosphere along with round-the-clock nursing care. Call 570-387-6868 to learn more. Better yet, we invite you to drop in and meet the Brookdale family and learn how we can offer an optimum aging experience for you or a loved one.
You're listening to the Coach Shep Talk Show, a conversation between Berwick Bulldogs head coach Frank Shep Talk and the voice of the Dogs, Jim Doyle, on Sports Radio, WHLM.
A great challenge for the Bulldogs this evening in their last regular season home game as they take on the 7-1 Dallas Mountaineers here at Crispin Field. Frank, it seems to me when we talk about your defense, the mission of any football team's defense, stop the run, rush the passer, cover the receivers. Seems to me your team checked all three boxes against Crestwood.
Sure, I thought we played a very complete game, Jim. And again, for us, up front, I think that we've been able to play very consistently through the year. I think that's allowed, the back end of the defense, to gain some confidence. And in each game, they've played better. So, really pleased with the back end, as they've developed. Naquan Smith has made plays the last several weeks. Great interception against Crestwood. We have, 2 interceptions by Tegan Wilk. Peyton Williams has done a nice job at the boundary corner position. You saw him play extremely well, at Hazelton and Selinsgrove. And then the second level, our linebackers and our strong safeties, very active in the blitz game, very productive from that standpoint. So very pleased with the all-around effort.
And Tegan Wilk now with 18 career interceptions. That is a boatload because interceptions are tough to come by, and the ball seems to find him.
Well, sure, and I think, you're not getting as many attempts, in high school football. There's, 15, 18 is a big throwing game for the most part. And, but he's got great range, Jim. What we do from a coverage standpoint really tries to highlight Tegan because he's playing a robber type technique where, reading certain routes, and there's some route progression things that he understands very well. And then when it breaks down a little bit, one of the things that he has is, does a great job of reading the quarterback and has great ability to break on the football when the quarterback's pulling the trigger. And, that's a very special player. And, since he's been here, he's been able to make some, tremendous plays from the interception standpoint. And then he's great with the ball afterwards.
Yeah, returned 1 interception last Friday for a touchdown. And Naquan Smith, you mentioned his interception. He almost got into the end zone. That had to thrill you because I know going into this season your concerns were at the corner because that was where your inexperience was. And Peyton Williams, just a sophomore, doing the job. But Naquan is a senior, but starting for the first time. He hasn't hurt you, has he?
No, he's actually played very well. And you saw, like in the Selinsgrove game, he got tested somewhat and then, followed up the next week with Valley View, where Valley View comes out in the first quarter and they go right at him 3 times vertical, very much responds to the challenge. He's a confident young man, has played some, basketball, as he's been going through high school, so very athletic. Transition skills are very well, and you just see his confidence growing, Jim, even in practice where, he's more vocal, he's much more of a leader in the locker room. So I think that you'll continue to see, because of his success, his confidence grow and his playmaking ability increase down the stretch.
The only negative to last Friday's win over Crestwood, the injury to Blaine Cleaver, your talented sophomore linebacker and tight end. As I'm speaking to you now, we don't know the extent of the injury. He had it tested. But all we know for sure is that he's not going to be in this important game tonight against Dallas. So talk about the impact of him being out tonight or for any extended period of time.
I mean, like Blaine's only a sophomore. We pulled him up last year as a 9th grader, played very well, down the stretch. Williamsport game and a Valley View District Championship game made an impact. Is very much a presence in our football team, Jim, a presence in the locker room, a presence from an attitude standpoint and leadership. He provides those things. And then just a flat-out playmaking ability. So, we're trying to take an optimistic approach and, look at the big picture. And, he's a very committed young man. He's a very hard-working young man, that hopefully he could continue to, rehabilitate himself, get back this year. And, because he's someone that the team will miss. I mean, he'll still have a presence, even though he's not on the field tonight, because he's that type of young man. But obviously we're going to miss somebody that, he's our leading tackler, but also provides a lot of other things for us. And, one of the things that, probably went unnoticed throughout the course of the year is his dominance on special teams. I mean, whether it's been a kickoff return team or a kickoff team or a punt block team, he's made plays in consistent basis on every special team in every game.
Defensively, who takes his place? Who's likely to see more action?
Well, Joey Lynn and Dallas Schechterle, I mean, there's really been those three have been operating at the inside linebacker position the whole year. When Joey went down early in the year, it was Blaine and Dallas. So now Dallas will just go back to where Blaine was, and him and Joey will go in there. Two very experienced, very, good football players, very intelligent from a football IQ standpoint. So we still look to play very well there because we have a lot of experience, and those are two very good players.
Well, tonight here at Crispin Field, the Bulldogs face a very talented Dallas team. Later in the show, Frank will tell us about the Mountaineers, but up next, it's the Bulldogs Spotlight feature. You're listening to the Coach Shep Talk Show on Sports Radio WHLN.
Welsh's Towing and Repair proudly supports the Berwick Bulldogs and wishes them a successful year. Welsh's Towing and Repair has a long tradition of helping. You can call Welsh's 24/7 at 759-9737 if you are in need of a tow, jump start, tire change, are locked out, or to request them on scene if you're in an accident. Welsh's accepts all major insurance and motor clubs, and they offer all types of preventive maintenance and state inspections for cars, trucks, and motorcycles. Welsh's Towing and Repair, South Mercer Street in Berwick, and at their South Center Storage Facility, Columbia Boulevard in Berwick.
Whether it's the heat of the preseason or the heart of the postseason, teams will always get a little boost from playing at home. Speaking of a boost at home, State Farm can boost your savings when you combine your homeowner's insurance with your auto coverage. So score one for the home team. Talk to State Farm agents Lori Powell or Sean Black in Berwick, or Melissa Price in Nescapec about big savings for combining home and car coverage. Give State Farm agents Melissa Price, Sean Black, or Lori Powell a call today.
If you have a child that's interested in gymnastics, or if you've been practicing the sport for years, then Access Gymnastics Academy is where you want to be. Their dedicated coaches will teach you everything you need to know to perform your best, from the basics of flexibility, form, and style to advanced techniques that will improve your rhythm and style during a routine. Call Heidi Rebuck at Access Gymnastics Academy at 570-441-5969. That's 570-441-5969. Now enrolling for beginner to advanced classes at 917 East 7th Street in Bloomsburg.
You're listening to the Coach Shep Talk Show, a conversation between Berwick Bulldogs head coach Frank Shep Talk and the voice of the Dogs, Jim Doyle, on Sports Radio WHLM.
Unbeaten Valley View is likely to be the top seed when the District 2 Quad A playoffs begin 2 weeks from tonight. But who will be the number 2 seed? That's likely to be the winner of tonight's Dallas-Berwick game here at Crispin Field. In our next segment, Frank will tell us about the Mountaineers, but now it's time for our weekly feature, Bulldog Spotlight. Tonight, the spotlight is on Noah Craig. The starting center last season is a sophomore, a 5'11", 256-pounder, starts at right guard this season. Frank, he's playing at a high level, isn't he?
Oh, my goodness, Jim. I mean, what a season Noah's having. When he was a sophomore, went to him and said, hey, we're going to try to build the offensive line around you. Build it around the center position. And, he really developed himself, and we wanted to move him to guard this year. He had some experience there last year, Jim, as well. Starting in the Williamsport game where you really just started to see him take games over. And I talked with him after the Williamsport game and saying that's as dominant an offensive line performance as I've seen, maybe in my 30-plus years of coaching, because it was just, whether it was on the line of scrimmage or on the perimeter, whether it was a drive block or a trap or pulling on the perimeter, he was doing some outstanding things. And then against Crestwood this past week, afterwards I talked with him as well, that he looked so athletic on the perimeter where, you think about, some of the, great pullers on offensive line where they get out and they look really athletic. And we were in our staff meeting on Saturday, and I paused it for our staff, and I'm like, look at Noah Craig right here. I said, he looks as athletic and powerful as you could as an offensive guard. So, a young man who's very committed to the program and gives everything he has every single day. And, it's really paying off because he's having an outstanding season.
Normally you start at the center position as a sophomore, and that's going to be your way to go for the rest of your career. Why the move to right guard this season?
Well, definitely from a pulling standpoint, he gave us something that, when you're on the perimeter and you're able to trap and be explosive and create separation upon contact, he's been able to do that for us. Very hard-working man, young man in the weight room, great ground-based strength. And when you're able to combine that thickness where you're able to move people on the line of scrimmage and the explosiveness on the perimeter, we knew with our pulling game this year that we needed somebody to go there and be able to be, a dominant player. And, I've leaned on Noah since I've been here as a head coach, whether it was at the center position, at, making all the calls and doing all of those types of things, and, and putting him at the right guard position, which he played a little bit last year, has just been, a great thing for our football team, because he and Michael Zalutko on that side, they work well together. And, when you look at the season that he's having as an offensive line, a lot of people should take notice to that, because it's been extremely dominant every week.
Sport of football's been around since the 1800s. I'm fair to say that there's never been a newspaper headline that had the name of an offensive lineman in it. They are the important people, but the forgotten people. But when you have an Owen Shoemaker getting a 1,000-yard season with still at least 3 games to play, those guys have to take pride in that.
Oh, no doubt about it. And I think, the biggest question mark of our football team going into the year, Jim, was our offensive line. Because we had a lot of young guys, and, Anthony Sisko, Sullivan Slabinski, Aaron Cashman. They didn't really even play a whole lot last year. Sully got a few reps, and, Cash got a few reps. And then you have Noah Craig and Michael Zalutko. They were going to be the, what we built around. But what a job they've done. And, obviously Justin Eckert's gone in and given us significant reps. Colton Ruckel, Jake Lanning. So we have a group of about 8 there that's played significantly well throughout the year.
In the Bulldog spotlight tonight, starting right guard, Noah Craig. Tonight, Noah and his Bulldog teammates face a 7-1 Dallas team here at Crispin Field. Up next, Frank will tell us about the Mountaineers offense. You're listening to the Coach Sheptock Show on Sports Radio, WHLM.
S.J. Kowalski Heating and Air Conditioning sells comfort. Since 1972, S.J. Kowalski understands the importance of doing business locally. They service what they sell and take pride in customer satisfaction. S.J. Kowalski is a trained comfort specialist, a Lennox dealer, and they are Northeastern Pennsylvania's premier dealer of Mitsubishi ductless mini-split systems. S.J. Kowalski also sells and installs energy-efficient Rinnai water heaters and geothermal systems. Call 1-888-KOWALSKI and ask about special promotions and zero-interest financing.
Whether it's the heat of the preseason or the heart of the postseason, teams will always get a little boost from playing at home. Speaking of a boost at home, State Farm can boost your savings when you combine your homeowner's insurance with your auto coverage. So score one for the home team. Talk to State Farm agents Lori Powell or Sean Black in Berwick, or Melissa Price in Nescapec about big savings for combining home and car coverage. Give State Farm agents Melissa Price, Sean Black, or Lori Powell a call today.
I'm Ken Pollock from Ken Pollock Ford, happy to embark on the 2018 football season. There's no greater thrill than being able to come together as a team to accomplish great things. That's how we are at Ken Pollock Ford, a big team working together to make sure our customers are taken care of and everyone gets a fair deal. The 2018 models are almost gone, but some great deals still remain, like the 2018 F-150 Super Crew XLT for just $299 a month for 36 months plus tax, $45.95 due at signing, no security deposit, or 0% financing on most 2018 model year SUVs at Ken Pollock Ford, Route 11 Berwick. Lease price based on 10,500 miles per year. Offer expires 10/31/18.
You're listening to the Coach Sheptock Show, a conversation between Berwick Bulldogs head coach Frank Sheptock and the voice of the Dogs, Jim Doyle, on Sports Radio, WHLM.
Dallas and Berwick meeting for the 21st time. It's senior night here at Crispin Field. And the number 2 seed for the upcoming District 2 Quad A playoffs is on the line. Both teams at 7-1. Frank, before Dallas was shut out by unbeaten Valley View last Friday, they were first in the Wyoming Valley Conference in total offense at nearly 400 yards a game, second in scoring at over 40 points a game. What makes them good offensively?
Well, I think, number one, they've got a tremendous amount of experience. When Coach Manello took over that program, it was in his second year that, a class was coming in, and, that class really became the dominant class of, people playing at certain positions. And you see that in what's going on right now. Those kids have a lot of experience. They've been in the system now for 4 years with Coach Manello, but for the most part, they've been in it 3 years running the system. They understand it, they execute it, and now you're also starting to see where fundamentally they're very good, Jim. When, we're watching film on Saturday morning, you see, great leverage. They're great with their hand placement. They finish blocks. They're doing those things well, and, obviously they're a very committed group in the weight room.
Well, they have a veteran quarterback. He's still just a junior, Michael Starbuck. And what struck me looking at the numbers, you take his yards per completion. It's over 20 yards a game. How are they getting those big plays?
Well, they do a tremendous job with play action, Jim. I mean, obviously, you've been around enough Bloomsburg University games where you see great play action off a great I-back run. You're going to see that tonight as well, because they do a phenomenal job with, faking the football and then getting the quarterback on the perimeter. And, and they do still have that run-pass option when he's on the perimeter, but the run game and the ball handling of Starbuck is so impressive that, they fool so many people so many times that they're able to have some significantly big plays in the pass game.
Lenny Kelly is a junior tailback. He's gone over 1,000 yards for the season. He's been a contributor since the 9th grader. Describe him to us.
Well, I tell you, and he's rushed, it was 6 games in a row where he had over 100 yards, which is extremely impressive. Definitely true I-back. He's physical. He's a downhill runner. Understands the gap blocking scheme with what they're doing with power and counter and where the cuts are. He's a patient runner, Jim, and he pushes the football, runs with his shoulders square, and, you saw his strength increase since he's been a young man. He's a much better runner right now, very powerful.
Another player that's been around is that starting right tackle, number 66, Michael Anderson, 6'2", 300 pounds. He's not just big either.
No, I think he's going to be one of the best offensive linemen we see all year. They definitely run a little bit more to the right side. They have Anderson there and also Andrew Menig, who's also a senior, a lot of experience. They've been able to push the football on the right side, Jim, and in key situations or when things aren't going well, look for them to run behind Anderson because he's been a dominant player.
Well, up next, Frank will tell us about the Dallas defense. You're listening to the Coach Sheptock Show on Sports Radio, WHLM.
I'm Ken Pollock from Ken Pollock Ford, happy to embark on the 2018 football season. There's no greater thrill than being able to come together as a team to accomplish great things. That's how we are at Ken Pollock Ford, a big team working together to make sure our customers are taken care of and everyone gets a fair deal. The 2018 models are almost gone, but some great deals still remain, like the 2018 F-150 Super Crew XLT for just $299 a month for 36 months plus tax, $45.95 do-it signing, no security deposit, or 0% financing on most 2018 model year SUVs at Ken Pollock Ford, Route 11 Berwick. Lease price based on 10,500 miles per year. Offer expires 10/31/18.
Your debit card purchases are personal.
I'll have a soy latte with 2 sugars, please.
Yeah, I'd like a turkey on rye with lettuce. Hold the mayo.
Can I get that in magenta, size medium?
Your debit card should be just as personal. With First Columbia Bank's new Design It Photo Card feature, you can customize your debit card to look just the way you want. Upload your favorite photo or choose from a gallery of photos and designs to order up a debit card that is just as personal as your purchases. Details at firstcolumbiabank.com.
First Columbia Bank.
Local is important when it comes to a lot of things, but especially when it comes to your insurance. At Hartman & Lally, you're dealing with local people shopping for the best coverage and the best premiums available. You can do that when you're not locked into one company. Call Hartman & Lally today, 752-3688 for your business insurance quote. Let them do the shopping for you to find the right coverage at the right price. Hartman & Lally Insurers, 726 West Front Street, Berwick. HartmanandLallyInsurers.com.
You're listening to the Coach Sheptock Show, a conversation between Berwick Bulldogs head coach Frank Sheptock and the voice of the Dogs, Jim Doyle, on Sports Radio, WHLM.
7-1 Dallas against 7-1 Berwick. Great matchup for the Bulldogs' final regular season home game this evening. Frank, we talked Dallas defensively, a 4-3 alignment. Will we see that all night long?
Sure, they're pretty much a true 4-3 team, Jim. The thing that they're a little bit different with, though, is, they bring the Schuster boy, who's more like a Sam Backer, where it gets into some of the under front, that you see on Sundays a lot, or, where they're trying to, still be where the backers shift a little bit, where the 21 will play out in space a little bit, and it'll be, two inside linebackers. It won't be the true 4-3 that we saw against Crestwood, because of what their mentality is with trying to set the front a different way. Very fundamentally sound. And then the other thing that they do extremely well, you're going to see the boundary corner, number 17, Esposito, and number 21, Dylan Schuster, really do a great job of trying to set the edge of the defense. 21 plays to the field, 17 plays to the boundary. They're very aggressive on their run reads because they do a great job of reading what's going on, Jim, and then they come and try to just collapse the defense and try to close it from the outside in, and they've been able to really shut down everybody's run game throughout the course of the year, with the exception of Valley View.
Yeah, going into that game, they were right behind your team as far as being able to stop the run, so that's the challenge for your offense tonight.
Sure, and they play a lot of people up front. I think that's one of the things that you saw in the Valley View game. Valley View was, an offense that, their offensive line just played offense, their defense just played defense, and they were able to wear down a little bit, the Dallas front four, and, Dallas rotates a lot of people in on the line of scrimmage. We're hoping to be able to do some of that as well with our platoon people on the line of scrimmage.
Well, this is the final regular season home game, so this is the night where your seniors get recognized. There are 18 altogether. And I guess considering the fact this is your third year, so they were really coming through up to varsity when you got here, this has to be a group special to you.
Oh, no doubt about it, because, this is really the first group where their entire, 3 years, where we've been together. And obviously we've shared a lot of time. And, as we're sitting here in my office and you look in the weight room and just outside with, where they've worked, and, you build a team and you see friendships and relationships developing. So, very proud group, very successful group, and obviously, a group that still has a lot of high expectations for the remainder of this season.
Well, exciting night tonight, 7-1 against 7-1. Frank, best of luck.
Thank you, Jim.
Join us again next Friday prior to the regular season finale at Coughlin for another edition of the Coach Sheptock Show. Stay tuned now for Dallas at Berwick football here on Sports Radio WHLM.
You've been listening to the Coach Sheptock Show on Sports Radio WHLM. Brought to you by First Columbia Bank and Trust, with you every step of the way. Yannick Real Estate, Commercial and Residential. Access Gymnastics Academy, East 7th Street in Bloomsburg. Hartman and Lally Insurers, Front Street in Berwick. Welch's Towing and Repair, Towing, Recovery, and Lockout Service. S.J. Kowalski, Heating and Cooling, the way the earth intended. Ken Pollock Ford Lincoln in Berwick. Make your drive a Ken Pollock Ford or Lincoln. And by your Berwick State Farm agents Lori Powell, Sean Black, and Melissa Price. Hometown agents who understand Berwick's needs. Now, stay tuned for Berwick Bulldogs football on Sports Radio WHLM.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptock. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
It's Berwick Bulldogs football on Sports Radio WHLM. Brought to you by First Columbia Bank and Trust, with you every step of the way. Berwick Dental Arts, quality care for your dental health. Neighbor Fence Company, residential and commercial fencing. Harry Sporting Goods, hashtag you need new sneaks. Fairfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, Route 11 in Danville for the best price and hometown value. First Keystone Community Bank, yesterday's traditions, tomorrow's vision. Mayo Funeral Home of Berwick and Chickashinny. The law offices of Lutz and Petty, protecting you. Welch's Towing and Repair, Towing, Recovery, and Lockout Services. Riverview Block Inc. of Berwick. Yannick Real Estate, Commercial and Residential. Hartman and Lally Insurers, Front Street in Berwick. Access Gymnastics Academy, East 7th Street in Bloomsburg. S.J. Kowalski, Heating and Cooling, the way the earth intended. Ken Pollock Ford Lincoln in Berwick. Make your drive at Ken Pollock Ford or Lincoln. Chrysler and Gregorovich, attorneys at law. Your Berwick State Farm agents Lori Powell, Sean Black, and Melissa Price. Hometown agents who understand Berwick's needs. Steph Subs, lunch, dinner, or anything in between. Gebhardt's Billiards and Bowling Supplies, Monday Street, Wilkes-Barre. And by Alexander Family Dealership, Central Road in Bloomsburg. Now with Andy Ulickney, here's the Dean of the Dogs, Jim Doyle, on Sports Radio WHLM.
From Crispin Field in Berwick, it's the Bulldogs against the Mountaineers of Dallas. I am Jim Doyle along with Andy Lickney. The producer for this broadcast is Raven Klein. Well, 18 Berwick seniors were just introduced on the field here at Crespin Field. This is their final regular season home game. However, if those 18 seniors can contribute to a Berwick win tonight, the Bulldogs will get one and possibly two more games here in the District 2 Quad A playoffs. Berwick comes in 7-1. Their only loss to Valley View. Dallas comes in 7-1. Their only loss to Valley View. So, barring any monumental upsets, Valley View is going to be the number 1 seed when that tournament starts 2 weeks from tonight. But for the number 2 seed, it will probably be the winner of tonight's game between Berwick and Dallas. Both these teams, with their records, have had terrific seasons, and you look at the numbers, they deserve to be at 7-1. Berwick, the third best team as far as giving up points defensively. Dallas is fourth. Both teams can run the ball effectively. Both teams very good against the run, so a terrific matchup here this evening. And a lot on the line. The home field is big for the postseason, and a chance to get that for at least 2 games if we keep winning with a victory here this evening. Andy Lichty with us for Bulldogs football. And Andy, a big win for Berwick last week. They looked impressive. They rolled over Crestwood 61-13. The only negative, obviously, the injury to Blaine Cleaver, their leading tackler, an outstanding defender, just a sophomore. Looks like he's done for the season. That definitely is a loss.
It's a huge loss, Jim, especially for a game like this one where you're facing a big offensive line and a team that likes to feature the running of their 1,000-yard running back and Lenny Kelly. Berwick's going to have to do some things, or everyone's going to have to step their own game up a notch. The linebackers who are in there are going to have to step it up and play even better. I think it's a critical factor in the game. Tremendous player. He played with a violence. He is a freshman. We saw him throwing bodies around this year as a sophomore, even better. If anything, sometime maybe even a little too reckless in his abandon where he doesn't always watch the backside or traps. That's an area of the game where he's going to grow. But he's a big timer, and they certainly will miss him, and it's a shame he's going to miss, the stretch run here and into the playoffs, and that's heartbreaking for any high school student.
Both teams want to run the football. Both teams are very good in stopping the run. If that offsets it, they come to a passing game. What really impresses me about Dallas's numbers in passing, Michael Starbuck, 20.7 yards per completion. I don't know if I've seen a better number than that on any level.
He's very good with the yards per catch because of the effectiveness of the run. You run, and when you finally play action, and he's very nifty in there with, concealing the ball, hitting bootlegs, keepers, getting out wide, and then whether he runs or throws, he makes the big gash plays. And he has receivers who are 6'3", who are used to the system and can get downfield. So defending this system where a team can pound it and really run at you with its big line and dominant running back, and yet you have to be so aware of these big gash plays where, every pass the quarterback's throwing is going for at least 25 yards. Well, that's a defensive coordinator's nightmare.
There are 17 teams in the Wyoming Valley Conference. Berwick is 16th in passing yards per game, and yet what we saw from Ryan Lawbaugh in his first full game as a starter last week shows me that you can't sleep on Berwick's passing game.
No, you certainly can't, and Sean Sheptock has sort of come on in through this season, worked his way in through the 3 games he had to sit out with his transfer, but we've seen him in each of the games he's been here getting deep and getting very deep on people, and it's just a matter of time as to when you finally hit that deep pass. He's a threat, and that threat also keeps people back from coming up on your running game. And while Berwick likes to pound it, there's enough misdirection in there with the quarterback, Ryan Lawbaugh, with people like Tegan Wilk, Aiden Mason, Blake Maurer. They can hurt you in a lot of ways. It's a very varied running game.
And to be by later with the keys to tonight's game. When we return, we'll hear from Rich Manella, the head coach of the Mountaineers of Dallas. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio WHLN.
Whether it's the heat of the preseason or the heart of the postseason, teams will always get a little boost from playing at home. Speaking of a boost at home, State Farm can boost your savings when you combine your homeowner's insurance with your auto coverage. So score one for the home team. Talk to State Farm agents Lori Powell or Sean Black in Berwick, or Melissa Price in Nescapec about big savings for combining home and car coverage. Give State Farm agents Melissa Price, Sean Black, or Lori Powell a call today.
Kreischer and Gregorovich is a law practice in Bloomsburg. It has represented families and businesses for more than 40 years. Kreischer takes pride in being awarded a distinguished rating for legal expertise and ethical standards. Their fees are reasonable, and their commitment to clients is personal, sincere, and effective. Whether it's a matter involving real estate, divorce, custody, adoption, criminal defense, personal injury, or bankruptcy, you can depend on Kreischer and Gregorovich. Call today for an appointment with one of their 4 attorneys at 784-5211.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptock. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
Harry's Sporting Goods, a staple in downtown Berwick, in business for over 125 years. Harry's Sporting Goods carries a wide variety of sneakers and cleats, now featuring Brooks running shoes. Harry specializes in sneakers and seasonal sporting goods, but also carries work boots and name brands including Nike and Under Armour. Harry's Sporting Goods, keeping the tradition alive while keeping up in the new era. Visit them on Facebook or on West Front Street in Berwick. Harry's Sporting Goods, hashtag you need new sneaks. Proud to support area sports teams.
Are you looking to meet an elder care need? Do you or a loved one need assistance with any of the instrumental or basic activities of daily living? Brookdale Senior Living has a solution. Brookdale Bloomsburg, located at 420 Schaefer Road, is a premium personal care home offering a family atmosphere along with round-the-clock nursing care. Call 570-387-6868 to learn more. Better yet, we invite you to drop in and meet the Brookdale family and learn how we can offer an optimum aging experience for you or a loved one.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptock. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
Berwick Bulldog football. WHLM Bloomsburg. WBWX Berwick. HLM.
Beautiful night for high school football here at Crispin Field. Special night, senior night. The senior members of the football team were introduced right now down the field below us to our left. The members of the band, later the cheerleaders, will get their acknowledgement as well. It's the last regular season home game for the Bulldogs, but they're hoping for more. To get more, they'll have to beat Dallas here tonight. You're listening to the pregame show, brought to you by the law offices of Lutz and Petty and by your local State Farm agents, Lori Powell, Melissa Price, and Sean Black. Well, against unbeaten Valley View last Friday, Dallas trailed 7-0 in the half. But Valley View dominated the Mountaineers in the second half and went on to hand Dallas their first loss of the season, 33-0. Mountaineers coach Rich Manella on his team's second half problems.
Well, when we got down to the 3-yard line, it was still the first half. We were down 6-0, and we failed to score there. That was a turning point. If we had been able to score there, get that first score, everybody relaxes, and you could just go about playing football. And we didn't get in. And then we came out in the second half, and they had scored, and then we threw a pick six. And at that point, the floodgates opened. But you can't let that happen with a really good football team like Valley View.
A couple of years ago, you started a number of freshmen and sophomores, and they went through their growing pains, and now they've come around and given you this great season that you've had. Lenny Kelly's been a contributor as running back since his freshman year. What makes him a good running back?
Well, he's a wrestler-football combination, and you throw a huge commitment that he has in the weight room, and you put those three things together, and he's a great kid, and so that's the result of it. When you can have a tailback that also wrestles, those are tough-minded kids, and he does a great job in the weight room, and so you expect him to play as he does.
Berwick's strength this season has been their defense. What makes them good, in your opinion?
Well, they're good across the board. The front group and the guys in the back end are very good. 7 is probably the best that I've seen in a long time. And I remember his father running around. So he's a good player, and that front group is very stout. So they're good across the board. They've got good strength. They've got great speed in the open field. They pursue well to the ball. I mean, that's That's a typical Sheptop coach defense.
I think you'll agree their offense has taken on a new look the second half of the Hazleton area game and then this Crestwood game. What concerns you there?
Well, the fullbacks or the back that you have there in the pistol, there's a couple of guys there that get downhill immediately. And if you're not aligned correctly and you're not playing sound gap control football, they're going to gash you pretty quick. So that run game is really comes at you fast. And, the perimeter people are explosive, as always. So it's going to be a tremendous challenge.
So considering what you've told me about your concerns for Berwick, what are the keys in this game? What will your team have to do especially well?
Well, that mindset does not change from week to week. We put our number one emphasis on the kicking game, and then we've got to be very sound on defense, be good on third downs defensively. We always talk about no gash plays, which we just mentioned with the downhill run game that Berwick has. And then offensively, we got to stay on the field. We got to be able to convert third downs to stay on the field and continue drives. So we've got to regroup ourselves after last week.
That's Rich Manoa in his fourth season as head coach of the Mountaineers of Dallas after 19 years as a head coach at King's College. He and Frank Sheptok have a special relationship. They're very good friends. They coached against each other when Frank was at Wilkes and Rich was at King's. And now meeting for the third time, Rich in his fourth season, Frank in his third season. Rich's record 22-19. They expected to be good this year. 16 starters back from last year's team that finished 7-4, and they are good. 7-1 coming into this game tonight. Berwick against Dallas. We'll check the starting lineups when we return. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio WHLM.
No one gets married planning on getting divorced. What about the kids? What about child support? What about the grandparents? What about the divorce itself? The attorneys at Kreischer and Gregorovich will help you reach a positive agreement regarding divorce, child support, and custody. A legal staff of 4 attorneys, 4 decades of success. The attorneys at Kreischer and Gregorovich are dedicated to providing superior legal counsel to the families in central Pennsylvania. Call the law offices of Kreischer and Gregorovich today at 570-784-5211. And schedule your appointment.
Whether it's the heat of the preseason or the heart of the postseason, teams will always get a little boost from playing at home. Speaking of a boost at home, State Farm can boost your savings when you combine your homeowner's insurance with your auto coverage. So score one for the home team. Talk to State Farm agents Lori Powell or Sean Black in Berwick or Melissa Price in Nescapek about big savings for combining home and car coverage. Give State Farm agents Melissa Price, Sean Black, or Lori Powell a call today.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptok. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
The market for nice used vehicles is really hot right now. And because of that, Alexander Family Buick GMC in Bloomsburg is in need of high-quality local trades. And we're willing to pay for it. We've been authorized to pay a special 20% buyback bonus on pre-owned trades. Right now, your trade could be worth way more than you think. And there's no pressure to buy. We'll buy yours, even if you don't buy ours. But you need to come in because we need to see your vehicle. Come in, test drive any vehicle at Alexander Family Buick GMC, and then find out just what your trade is worth. A huge selection of new and used vehicles with the lowest price, guaranteed. And now, a 20% buyback bonus on your trade. The market for nice used vehicles is really hot right now. And because of that, Alexander Family Buick GMC in Bloomsburg is in need of high-quality local trades. And we're willing to pay for it all this month, and only at Alexander Family Buick GMC in Bloomsburg, where, as always, we're taking deals the other guys won't.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptok. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
Berwick Bulldog football. WHLM Bloomsburg. WBWX Berwick. HLM.
Senior night activities have concluded on the field here at Crispin Field prior to the final regular season home game for the Bulldogs taking on the Mountaineers of Dallas. The Berwick senior football players, 18 altogether. Alexander Force, Jake Betts, Jared Groshik, Alex Sharkuski, Justin Robbins, Misael Hernandez, Naquan Smith, Colin Hill, Maurice Smith, Blake Girton, Owen Shoemaker, Mason Latard, Joe Lynn, Joshua Snyder or J.J. Snyder, Justin Eckert, Benjamin Peck, Colt Ruckle, and Will Decker. Those are the seniors who were recognized earlier before their final regular season home game. Here's the starting lineup offensively for the Mountaineers of Dallas. At the tight end, we'll see number 81, Jack Farrell. He is a 6'3", 180-pound junior. The left tackle is number 75, Taylor Balesta, 6 foot, 225, a junior. Josh Ballera starts at left guard. He's a big one, 6'2", 280 pounds, a junior. The starting center is Xander Shaner. He wears number 52. He is 6 foot, 200 pounds, a junior. Andrew Mennick starts at right guard for Dallas. He wears number 53. He is a 5'10", 250-pound senior. The big right tackle is number 66, Michael Anderson. 6'2", 300 pounds, a senior. He's been seeing varsity action since his freshman year, and he is a terrific force on that offensive front for the Mountaineers. They have a terrific wide receiver in Luke Delgadio. He wears number 23. He is 6'3", 175 pounds, a junior. 22 receptions on the season. He leads the Wyoming Valley Conference in reception yardage, 553, and he leads the conference in touchdown receptions with 7. The quarterback is a junior, Michael Starbuck. He's seen varsity action, starting action since his freshman year. He's 5'10", 160 pounds, a junior. He's had a really good season. 57% of his passes complete, 60 for 105. He is third in the Wyoming Valley Conference in passing yardage, 1,246 yards. He's first in touchdowns, 16. And what a terrific ratio. Touchdown interceptions, 16 touchdowns, just 2 interceptions. He is a threat to run as well, 182 yards rushing and 6 touchdowns. The leading rusher and the second leading rusher in the entire conference, trailing only Carson Canavan of Wyoming Valley West, is Dallas's number 42, Lenny Kelly. He's a 5'10", 175-pound junior. He burst on the scene as a 9th grader. In fact, in a game against Hazleton area in his freshman year, he ran for 211 yards. He's got 1,034 yards already this season, averaging 7.6 yards a carry and 13 touchdowns. They'll also throw to Lenny Kelly as 8 receptions for 114 yards. We'll see a couple of fullbacks. One is number 4, Danny Muser. He's 5'11", 200 pounds, a junior. 7 carries on the season for 15 yards. Also has caught a couple of passes. And number 47, Matt Ferrara, 5'11", 200 pounds, senior. Another wide receiver, in addition to Luke Delgadio, is Matt Moransky. He is a junior, 5'10", 150 pounds. 7 catches on the season for 172 yards and 5 touchdowns. We'll also see a senior by the name of Christian Motley. He wears number 24. He's 5'6", 145 pounds. He has caught 7 passes for 132 yards and 1 touchdown. That is the starting lineup offensively for the Mountaineers of Dallas under Rich Manell in his 4th season as head coach. They come in 7-1. Their only loss last week at home to Valley View. They are up among the leaders in the Wyoming Valley Conference in all categories offensively. 35.2 points a game, that's 3rd. 157 passing yards, that's 4th. 202 rushing yards, that's 5th. And they're tied for a 1st with Hazleton area in total yardage, 359.1 yards a game. So this will be a real challenge to Berwick's defense, which has been outstanding all season long. For the Bulldogs, at the tight end, number 90, Will Decker, 6'2", 212-pound senior. At the left tackle, number 55, Anthony Sisko, 6 foot, 201, a junior. At the left guard, number 60, Sully Slabinski, 6'1", 237, a junior. We'll also see number 70, Justin Eckert, a big senior at 6'2", 297 pounds. The starting center is number 52, Aaron Cashman, 5'10", 254, a junior. The right guard, number 79, Noah Craig. You heard Frank Sheptock praise him in the Coach Sheptock show. Craig, 5'11", 256 pounds, a junior. The right tackle, number 71, Mike Zalutko, 6'1", 236, a junior. The leading receiver for the Bulldogs is Tegan Wilk, the 5'10", 181-pound junior with 19 receptions on the season for 172 yards and 2 touchdowns. They will also run with him. He has 14 carries on the season for 115 yards. So Wilk very much involved in the offense, and of course a terrific safety on the defensive side. The quarterback getting just the 2nd start of his career, number 10, Ryan Lawbaugh. 6 foot, 172, a junior. He came on in the second half of the game at Hazleton area 2 weeks ago and rallied the Bulldogs from a 14-0 deficit to a victory. And then last week against Crestwood, 5 for 8 passing for 60 yards, also ran the ball well. In fact, in the 2 games that he's played, averaging 7.5 yards a carry on 16 attempts. The leading rusher for this team is Owen Shoemaker. What a terrific season the 5'9", 201-pound senior has had. He's third in the Wyoming Valley Conference in rushing with 1,016 yards, and he is second in scoring, his 15 touchdowns, giving him 90 points on the season. When Berwick does use a fullback, we'll see a number of people. We could see Dallas Schechterly back there, number 36, or perhaps Joe Lynn, number 44. Joe Lynn, by the way, will be getting a start on defense with the injury to J. Blaine Cleaver. So we'll see those linebackers in the inside as Dallas Schechterly and Joe Lynn. But Berwick offensively averaging 34.7 points a game. That puts them 4th in the Wyoming Valley Conference. Dead last in passing yardage, 2nd in rushing, 6th in overall offense, over 322 yards a game. So it's the Bulldogs against the Mountaineers. Keys to tonight's game, Andy Lickney.
Jim, we often hear the cliche of battle of the trenches, but this one really is going to be a battle of the trenches. And whoever wins the battle of the trenches wins the game. That's just the way it's going to come. These teams have linemen that are big, strong, tough, athletic, and very, very aggressive. And they're going to go at each other, and it's going to be a fight inside throughout the entire game. Berwick has a little bit of an advantage in that they have fewer two-way players. You could see Dallas possibly wear out, but Dallas has some bigger players, and they're quite good. So what do? I think offensively, Berwick's going to be challenged. A guy like Sully Slavinsky is going to see a 280-pound Josh Ballara go against him at 6'2", 280. And when he gets tired, he gets no break. It's going to be number 66, Mike Anderson. And Anderson goes 6'2", 300, and he stands out on the field. So, they're going to have to help him out a little bit, and the rest of the line is big and strong and aggressive and tough as well. It's a line that has sack masters on it. It's a team with 15 sacks, and the front 4 have 12 of the 15 sacks. And behind that line, a tremendous runner. Now, we heard his coach talk about him. Lenny Kelly's a 1,000-yard rusher. He's the guy who puts in the weight room time. He's an outstanding wrestler, and that makes for a great combination of wrestler, linebacker, and running back that has a tremendous toughness running behind this line. What's Berwick going to do to stop it? Well, number one, Owen Shoemaker's going to do his thing. He's just as tough a running back. He makes things happen. You may slow him down or stop him on occasion. He has that great combination of intensity with power and then tremendous speed to finish off plays, which seems rather surprising. I think you try to establish him. If that doesn't quite go, they've developed a counter play with Ryan Lawbaugh as the new quarterback. It's rejuvenated the offense. He can fake it inside and then continue outside with the play. He can fake it inside and bootleg the other way or go counter option or straight option. He's been very good with it. They have counters that go inside, counters that go outside, and he's a very tough physical runner. Beyond that, there's the reverses and the change-ups. You have guys like Aiden Mason, Blake Maurer, and Keegan Wilk. Anytime they touch the ball, they have the chance of breaking it, especially if you can establish the power running game. Well, and then there's always the option. They invented the forward pass years ago. Keep your eye on it. It's not like Berwick can't pass. They haven't had to. They haven't been real sharp with it. But it doesn't mean that Ryan Lawbaugh is not going to pass. And one in particular, keep your eye on Sean Sheptock. He's been able to get deep in the past games since he's been activated as a transfer, and I think you'll see him try to stretch that field again. And, a play or two like that, and you make things happen. Flip it around, Berwick defense, and I think this is where the biggest challenge is going to be. That big, dominant Dallas offensive line averages 251 pounds a man. We mentioned the size of Josh Valera at 280 pounds, at Mike Anderson at 300, and they're still big in there to average 251 with the others as well. And they're well coached. They're fundamentally sound. They explode off the ball. They get into their blocks, and they make their running game go. And Berwick has struggled with that when they played Valley View. Valley View blew them off the ball. Make no mistake about it. And add to Berwick's handicap, their number one tackler, their most violent player, and Blaine Cleaver's not there behind it. And you got to take out their number 4 tackler as well, and Ryan Lawbaugh, who's now a quarterback. We may see some of Ryan Lawbaugh. We'll keep an eye on that as to when he enters in. But, when you just look at personnel, it's got to be a little softer. So what's Berwick got to do? Number one, everyone's got to step it up. You got to play better than you did against Valley View. You got to take on that challenge, and you got to make it happen. Number two, you look at some schemes. We heard one thing they might try to do is sneak Mason Lawbaugh inside the defensive tackle. J.J. Snyder out a little wider. Mason Lawbaugh has incredible weight room strength. And no matter what size the linemen are, it's going to be very hard to push him if he can get in, strike the blow, and hold his ground. So we're going to keep an eye on that. You're going to have to look at some personnel changes. We mentioned Ryan Lawbaugh may be platooning, may be in there 2 ways. We'll see. He adds a physical presence. After 2 games quarterbacking, where he didn't play defense, he's still in there as a 4th leading tackler.
Berwick against Dallas. We'll be back with the kickoff. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio WHLM.
Fall is here, and so are the savings. At Fairfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, there are no tricks, just plenty of treats. We have the best prices, and our service is second to none. That's why we've won the prestigious Customer First Award 2 years in a row. Plus, for each vehicle sold in October, we're donating $25 to UPMC Susquehanna's Catherine Kander Lundy Breast Health Center. During Ram Power Days, you can get over $13,000 in total values on select new 2018 Ram 1500s, and no one has a better selection. We are your Ram headquarters with hundreds available. It's also Jeep Adventure Days, so you can save thousands on that new Jeep you've been thinking about. Lease a 2019 Cherokee Latitude for only $189. Browse our entire inventory online with over 300 new vehicles available. Fairfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 2 locations, Route 405 in Muncie or Route 11 in Danville. Fairfield, for fair deals. Leases for 36 months, $34.99 to its signing. 0 security deposit. Offer ends October 31st. See dealer for complete details.
Fairfield, you're gonna love us.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptock. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
Whether it's the heat of the preseason or the heart of the postseason, teams will always get a little boost from playing at home. Speaking of a boost at home, State Farm can boost your savings when you combine your homeowner's insurance with your auto coverage. So score one for the home team. Talk to State Farm agents Lori Powell or Sean Black in Berwick, or Melissa Price in Nescapec about big savings for combining home and car coverage. Give State Farm agents Melissa Price, Sean Black, or Lori Powell a call today.
Harry's Sporting Goods, a staple in downtown Berwick, in business for over 125 years. Harry's Sporting Goods carries a wide variety of sneakers and cleats, now featuring Brooks running shoes. Harry specializes in sneakers and seasonal sporting goods, but also carries work boots and name brands including Nike and Under Armour. Harry's Sporting Goods, keeping the tradition alive while keeping up in the new era. Visit them on Facebook or on West Front Street in Berwick. Harry's Sporting Goods, hashtag you need new sneaks. Proud to support area sports teams.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptock. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
Berwick Bulldog football. WHLM Bloomsburg. WBWX Berwick. HLM.
About set to go. The next to last weekend of high school football's regular season. Playoffs right around the corner. And a lot of playoff implications in this one tonight as Berwick faces Dallas, with the winner likely to be the number 2 seed for the upcoming District 2 Quad A playoffs. The officiating crew for tonight's game, the referee is Earl Harris. Al Williams is the umpire. The head linesman is Steve Jimsky. Edward Caffrey is the line judge. Jim Darr is the field judge, and the side judge is Chris Mazicki.
I want to return to the keys just a little bit, Jim. We mentioned the strong running game that Dallas has behind the line, but they also have complementary to that, a great play-action passing game. Quarterback Michael Starbuck, a lefty, is very deft at hiding the football, putting it in, looking like he's giving it, and then bootlegging or keeping it and going wide and then making the big gash plays downfield. We talked to it in the pregame. So Berwick does have to watch that power run inside as well as the quarterback keeping it and trying to make the plays, whether it be with his feet or with his arm, and that's a challenge. I think Tegan Wilk is going to be an impact player in this game. At times he may have to come up like a linebacker and stop the run. At other times back there to stop those big passes that average 25 yards a throw from this quarterback, Michael Starbuck.
Jared Groshek will kick off. Dallas moving from our right to our left. Matt Moransky, Christian Motley deep. This game is underway. The kick is very, very high. And Motley back at the 2-yard line to the 10, to the 15, to the 20. And he is ridden down over the 25 at about the 26-yard line. So that's where Dallas will put it in play. They'll be going against a Berwick defense that lines up with Mason Lawbaugh, J.J. Snyder, Ben Peck, and Eric Montez across the front. Joe Lynn moves into a starting spot in the place of Blaine Cleaver. Dallas Schechterly joins him at the linebacker spot. Antonio Barada and Jake Seeley outside. The corners Naquan Smith and Peyton Williams. The safety is Tegan Wilk.
Linebackers Joe Lynn and Dallas Schechterly are going to have to really step up their game if this line is as good as Valley View's, as well as the D tackles J.J. Snyder and Ben Peck. It's up to them to be the heroes of this one.
I formation behind quarterback Michael Starbuck. Lenny Kelly dots the I, and he gets the call. And off the right side, he breaks in the secondary, over the 45, over midfield, to the Berwick 40, and Tegan Wilk rides him out of bounds inside the Berwick 30-yard line. Dallas explodes for a huge play on the first play from scrimmage.
Went off their right side. Berwick had moved Mason Lawbaugh down a defensive tackle, but they still were able to slice on in there behind Andrew Mennigan Anderson. And Lenny Kelly showed tremendous speed. Tegan Wilk had to get the angle on him to stop that from going all the way.
47 yards on the carry on the first play from scrimmage in this game. And Dallas right away threatening at the Berwick 26-yard line. Luke Delgadio lines up as a tight end on the right side. Again, the I formation behind Starbuck. From the 26. The give straight ahead is to the fullback, Muser, and he gets inside the 25 to about the 23. Tegan Wilk coming up from the secondary among the people in on the play.
Danny Muser doesn't get that many carries, only his 8th carry on the season. A lot of people seeing his father on television these days. Danny Sr. running for Congress.
2nd down and 6. They mark the ball at the Berwick 22-yard line, and Dallas will take a 4-yard gain from the fullback.
Yes, they will. And again, you're going to credit that offensive line for exploding. Mason Lawbaugh pushed down to defensive tackle.
2nd down call coming from the 22. Starbuck gives the ball to Kelly. Kelly tries the right side, is dragged down as he gets to the 20, and that's about it.
Lawbaugh made the initial bump in the backfield, made him change direction. I believe it was Dallas Schechterly who then grabbed the jersey, went for a little bit of a ride, but they'll get 2 yards on that.
3rd down and 4. Dallas at the Berwick 20-yard line. Delgadio now wide to the right. Motley wide left. I formation behind Starbuck. 3rd down call. The left-hander gives the ball to Kelly. Kelly drives straight ahead and gets close to the first down yardage near the 16.
Tegan Wilk cheating up, playing it like a linebacker, but the play was already past him as he was out one gap wide. Going to come out about a foot short, Jim. We'll see a 4th down play here from scrimmage.
Starbuck trotted to the sideline, got the play from head coach Rich Vanella. 4th down, less than a yard. Dallas at the Berwick 16-yard line.
Right side is the big side.
Starbuck, quarterback keeper. He is stopped short. He does not get it. Quarterback keeper, he actually lost some yardage.
I think Mason Lawbaugh gets the credit, Jim. He was down like a nose guard, actually. When the center snapped, he used his quickness, gave him a shrug, and basically bench pressed him back into the quarterback. Throws the quarterback in a stalemate, and then Berwick comes around and makes the play. Huge defensive stop after a horrid opening where Lenny Kelly takes it 47 yards on the opening play.
So 4th and 1 from the 16, and Starbuck is stopped, and Berwick will take over the football. Moving from our left to our right, they have it at their own 19-yard line. Now they're going to move it back to the 18. That's where the Bulldogs will put it in play. We'll set this Dallas defense after this opening play.
Corner is in there, Jim. We were afraid he wasn't going to play, but he made the game.
That is Esposito, as Lawbaugh gives the ball off to Shoemaker, coming outside right over the 25 and ridden out of bounds near the 30 as flags fly all over the place. Dallas across the front, Sander Shaner and Taylor Balesta at the ends of this 4-3. Josh Valera and Matt Pereira are the tackles. Lenny Kelly inside, Dylan Schuster and Sean Cuba the outside linebackers. The corners, Jacob Esposito and Christian Motley. The safeties, R.J. Wren and Matt Moransky.
Esposito wasn't out in warm-ups. We never saw his number, but he did make it. A beautiful run on that sort of sweeping action where they hide Shoemaker in the slot on the left and he comes to the right. Shoemaker gave a stiff arm up into the face mask, but they didn't give that as the penalty. They gave the penalty to Dallas for 5.
Yeah, it was a face mask against Dallas. So the 5 yards onto the 37 after a 14-yard run by Owen Shoemaker.
I'm never quite clear on whether the offensive running back giving a stiff arm can be guilty of a face mask. All of the flags came out, and I was thinking, well, jeepers, that's the way I saw it. But often when you get face masked and push away, you reach out and often, accidentally grab the other face mask, and that's how they called it. 5 yards against Dallas on a movement penalty.
Yeah, back-to-back penalties against the Mountaineers. Bulldogs 1st and 10 at their own 42. Lawbaugh out of the pistol. Fakes to Shoemaker, keeps the football. Ryan Lawbaugh into the secondary, the first down near the Dallas 46-yard line.
Safety R.J. Wren had to make the play, a rather small sophomore. But they faked to Shoemaker. Attention went his way from the linebackers. Take it inside one gap, and Ryan Lawbaugh with his power run moves the chain.
11 yards on the carry by Lawbaugh. 1st and 10, Berwick at the Dallas 47. Again, the pistol. Shoemaker, the running back behind him. Shoemaker fake to him. Then a pitch to Tegan Wilk. Turns it around the right side to the 40, to the 35, and ridden out of bounds at around the 31-yard line. The play was designed to go to the left, but the pitch to Wilk was behind him. He made a good catch on it and then reversed field, got a good gain, but there is a flag.
Sean Sheptock peeled back from his receiver position to try to help his man. It was a very obvious clip near the line of scrimmage, so it's going to move it back. Yes, the pitch was a little high and away from Tegan Wilk, who had to go high one-handed. He has great ball skills, but looked and he saw, hey, I can't take this wide now. My momentum stopped. Put on the brakes, came back against the green in the backfield, picked up that illegal block, made a nice run after that, but all for naught.
Illegal use of hands was the indication. Berwick a 10-yard penalty back to their 44-yard line, 1st and 20. For the Bulldogs. Out of the shotgun. Lawbaugh. He's going to keep it himself. He has a little bit of running room. Gets over the 45 to the 47, maybe the 48-yard line.
I was watching Sully Slavinsky take on that big 300-pound lineman in Michael Anderson. He did a nice job forcing him inside a little bit to create the seam where they ran.
2nd and 16, Berwick. After the 4-yard run by Lawbaugh. Bulldogs at their own 48-yard line. Wilk comes in motion. A pitch to him. He's going to sweep the left side. He turns the corner midfield and is ridden down at the Dallas 46-yard line. So he'll pick up about 6 on the play. 3rd down, about 10 coming.
Got a nice block from the receiver that time, and he was able to front the man and keep it clean. It'll set up a 3rd and 9 passing situation from the left hash if that's the way Berwick chooses to go.
So they give him 7 on the carry. And here is the 3rd and 9 for Berwick from the Dallas 46-yard line. Blake Mowers in there on a wing to the left. To the right is Tegan Wilk, and Wilk comes in motion now. And the call goes to Maurer. Maurer to the 45 and knocked down at the 43-yard line. He'll pick up just about 3 on the play. Decision Berwick, 4th and 6 in Dallas territory. Looks like they'll bring the punt team on.
Yeah, they'll play it a little conservatively early in the game. Lenny Kelly came up and made a real nice read on that play. He's the middle linebacker inside. He wasn't really fooled by the reversing action. He stayed home in his position, played that counter pretty nicely.
Christian Motley and Matt Moransky deep anticipating the punt from Alex Sharkuski, awaiting Jake Lanning's snap. And Alex gets the kick away, and it sails inside the 10, inside the 5, and way down right about the 5-yard line by Ryan Lawbaugh.
He angled it toward the right side, I think, thinking maybe I'm going to be able to get this to bounce outside inside the pylon. It hit at the 5, and instead of bouncing at the angle in which it's kicked, it hits, and it just bounces straight across the 5-yard line. Berwick didn't need anyone down there. I think it was going to die there, but wonderful punt. The placement puts Dallas in deep.
They mark it at the 6, where the Mountaineers will take over with 7:12 to go in a scoreless first quarter.
They exploded on their first play. Berwick got stout after that.
Jack Farrell, the tight end, to the left side. Lenny Kelly's 1 yard deep in the end zone as the tailback. Starbuck under center. Fakes it and throws it downfield, incomplete. Good ball fake by Starbuck. Then he intended the pass for Jack Farrell, and Peyton Williams on the coverage for Berwick.
Yeah, Peyton was right there with him. The ball extremely accurately thrown, might have caught him where he can champ a foot in. But the coverage was there. I think the secondary's been schooled in this game. Defensively, the game plan is, hey, everyone else has to stop the run. You stay home, you key your receivers, you watch them coming down at you, and Peyton Williams was there for the play.
Delgadio wide to the left side. Second down call coming. Kelly gets the call. Opening briefly, and then it closes quickly as he gets to the 10-yard line. Pick up a 4, be 3rd and 6.
He got 4, but at the line of scrimmage, Ben Peck and Joe Lynn both kind of tripped him up and got him falling forward. His momentum will give him the 4 yards, but it's still 3rd and 6.
This is a big moment for Joe Lynn. You know, he was so important to this defense a year ago. Has battled injury problems this season. Now with Blaine Cleaver out, he's got to step in there, and he is capable. It's going to be a 3rd down and 6 Dallas. Big call coming from their own 10-yard line.
Berwick's front 4 is the same personnel, even though J.J. Snyder and Mason Lawbaugh have flipped positions.
Starbuck back to throw, fires a pass, incomplete, intended for Delgadio. Good coverage by Naquan Smith over the middle. And 4th down, good stand by the Berwick defense. Dallas will be punting from deep in their own territory.
When Berwick started the season, Naquan Smith and Peyton Williams were the question marks. They didn't have the experience, they had athleticism. And both have grown and matured into experienced and excellent players at their corners. There, that time, it was Naquan Smith in position to stop the pass.
The country's largest punter, Michael Anderson, deep in the end zone at 6'2", 300 pounds, and he booms one. High and deep, and Blake Maurer has a bounce over his head, and it's still rolling, and it goes dead at the Berwick 35-yard line. So what a terrific effort by Michael Anderson as the punter.
It was. I believe it was Mason Lawbaugh got a pretty good rush, and I thought he was going to have to short leg that, but he must have got that big leg extended, punished that football, put it high over the head of the return man. I was afraid that the return man may have even touched it on the bounce.
Came close
no
to Blake
beanbag.
Bauer.
Yeah, no beanbag dropped, and they let that go.
55 yards, no return. That's the punt by Michael Anderson, as Berwick takes over at their own 35-yard line with 6:02 to go, and still no score in this opening quarter.
After the excellent punt by Alex Sharkuski, Anderson matches us as we're really seeing flips in field position.
And Alex Force is in the Berwick lineup as a wide receiver. He's to the left. 3 receivers to the right. Out of the shotgun. Lawbaugh fakes, rolls right. Man in pursuit. He's in trouble. Gets the pass away. Incomplete. Good job by Lawbaugh just to get the pass away as he was in the grasp of Taylor Bolesta, a 225-pound junior.
Yeah, there's going to be pressure. This is a sacking machine, this defense. 15 sacks on the season, and 12 of the 15 coming out of their front 4, and Taylor Bolesta is one of those. One of the two-way players. There's 5 of them on the Dallas defense, and some of them are the big guys who could wear down by the 4th quarter.
2nd down and 10. Berwick at their own 35. Out of the pistol. Shoemaker is the running back behind Lawbaugh. Lawbaugh fakes, keeps the football. Good surge, gets over the 40, about the 41-yard line. He'll pick up about 6 on the play. Third down coming for the Bulldogs.
Will Decker was tied in play side, and he blocked down and had his man. Ryan Lawbaugh kind of dropped his head, anticipating collision, collided into the back of Will Decker, but not until after he got the 6-yard gain.
And Lawbaugh's helmet came off, so he has to leave for this third down play. 3rd and 4. Alex Force comes on to do the quarterbacking for the Bulldogs. Lawbaugh will have to sit for one play. Slot to the right. Tegan Wilk in the slot, comes in motion. Force gives the ball to Owen Shoemaker. He has the first down and then some over midfield to the 45. Still on his feet at the 40 and down to the 39-yard line of Dallas.
Well, he's good. He's good. He certainly made it happen. Jacob Esposito finally grabbed him by the shin and held on for dear life. He got himself inside in the tightest of seams, started weaving a little left and right, leaving people grasping at him, breaking the hand tackles. A tremendous run there by Owen Shoemaker.
20 yards on the carry. 1st and 10 Berwick at the Dallas 39-yard line. Ryan Lawbaugh back in there at the quarterback controls. Operates out of the pistol. Play action, back to throw. Fires to the sideline. Tegan Wilk is open. He has it and spins over the 30 down to about the 27-yard line. Big rush again by Dallas, but Lawbaugh able to get it away to Tegan Wilk.
They kind of let the backside go, and the backside had a free shot, but I think the notion is the lineman knew it was going to be a 3-step drop and throw. They really were respecting Wilk's speed, playing way off him, surprisingly open that much in the flat.
11 yards on the reception by Tegan Wilk. 1st and 10 Berwick at the Dallas 28, 4:50 to go in a scoreless first quarter. Lawbaugh now under center for the first time in the game. Gives the ball to Shoemaker, tries the left side, and nothing doing. Brought down right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, by that big tackle, Michael Anderson, who came from the backside. Slanting to try to get a read, crosses across the guard and the center, and makes it on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage before Owen Shoemaker can get anything going.
He'll lose the yard back to the 29, 2nd down and 11. One thing about Anderson, talking to head coach Rich Bell, he says, great feet. Boy, for a 300-pounder, that's so important.
Right now, he's playing a nose guard.
2nd down call coming. Trips to the left side. Sean Sheptock wide to the right. The give is to Shoemaker. He's hit and dropped after a short gain, maybe to the 27.
Xander Shaner sliding on down. He's often a little tighter inside, but he's able to come from the left guard inside. As Anderson sort of stalls things up, creates a mess. Xander Shaner making the stop for just a yard.
3rd down and 9 for Berwick. They're marking it back at the 28, so it's 3rd down and 10. As in motion right to left comes Tegan Wilk. Lawbaugh on a keeper up the middle, gets down to the 16-yard line. Ryan Lawbaugh on the keeper right up the gut. Picks up 12 yards and a first down.
Give him 33 on the game. He fakes left to Owen Shoemaker, plants and bends right and goes over the opposite guard. He's getting the lead block in there from a lineman and really had a nice seam to run.
From the 16-yard line of Dallas, Berwick threatens to take the lead as the call goes to Shoemaker, and he's going nowhere. In fact, he'll lose yardage. Great penetration by the Mountaineers.
Yes, it was. Again, we're seeing Xander Shaner coming on in, playing in the interior of that line, slanting over the right guard to the inside and grabbing a hold of the ankle at a loss of 1.
2nd down and 12. They're marking the ball at the 18-yard line. Slot to the left. Tegan Wilk wide to the right. Shoemaker lines up on a wing to the right. Ball. Fakes handoff, rolls left, wants to throw. Now he's going to keep it inside the 15 and down close to the 10-yard line.
Drops his head, punishes the cornerback, and gets 7 or so. He had a receiver open, but on the roll with momentum, he saw he could run for just about as much yardage. He controls things, no chance of the throw being off target or the receiver dropping it. Not a bad run.
3rd down and 5 at the 11. 7 yards on the carry by Lawbaugh. He operates out of the pistol. He has Shoemaker behind him. is a slot to the right. Tegan Wilk in that slot, and Wilk comes in motion. And Wabaugh keeps the football and is buried at the 15-yard line. Fake to Shoemaker. That didn't draw enough attention. And a loss of 4, 4th and 9. Will it be a field goal attempt for Berwick?
It may. We'll keep an eye on the personnel. Again, it was big Michael Anderson, a senior, 6'2", 300 pounds. He'll have colleges knocking on his door. He has the size. Went right on through the fake to the quarterback that time and snuffed out the play.
So Jared Groshek, the senior, comes on. He's 3 for 4 in field goal attempts. His longest is 33 yards. This hold by Alex Force will be at the 22, so this is a 32-yard field goal attempt by Jared Groshek.
From the left hash, a little bit of an angle.
Jake Lanning snap is there. The placement's there. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Jared Groshek from 32 yards out. Time out of the field. 1:06 to go, first quarter. Berwick 3, Dallas nothing. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio WHLM.
I'm Ken Pollock from Ken Pollock Ford, happy to embark on the 2018 football season. There's no greater thrill than being able to come together as a team to accomplish great things. That's how we are at Ken Pollock Ford, a big team working together to make sure our customers are taken care of and everyone gets a fair deal. The 2018 models are almost gone, but some great deals still remain, like the 2018 F-150 Super Crew XLT for just $299 a month for 36 months plus tax, $45.95 do-it signing, no security deposit, or 0% financing on most 2018 model year SUVs at Ken Pollock Ford, Route 11 Berwick. Lease price based on 10,500 miles per year. Offer expires 10/31/18.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptock. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
Berwick Bulldog football. WHLM Bloomsburg. WBWX Berwick. HLM.
Berwick caps an 11-play drive with a 32-yard field goal by Jared Groshek. And the Bulldogs have a 3-0 lead over Dallas with 1:06 to go in this opening quarter, as Groshek will kick it away. And a beautiful kick as Motley back to the goal line, to the 10, to the 15, and is cut down just over the 20 at the 21-yard line.
Alex Sharkuski, first man there, trips him up. 2 deep kicks. The initial kickoff went down to the 1. This one has the man actually stepping back into the end zone, but the ball never goes in. So great coverage by Berwick, and they'll take that field position on the 21-yard line after the kick.
So field position, with the exception of that Dallas first possession, favoring Berwick in this opening quarter, which has 1 minute remaining. Delgadio wide to the left. Moransky in a slot to that side. Starbuck under center. Gives the ball to Kelly off the right side, over the 25, out to about the 26-yard line.
They blocked the front end. They got the corner. Peyton Williams had to come up after playing his pass responsibility. Made a nice, sure tackle, but the runner's going to get a good 5 yards on that.
Second down and 5. Dallas from their own 27-yard line. Time for perhaps one more play in this opening quarter.
Mason Lawbaugh still playing inside a tackle. J.J. Snyder's bounced out to defensive end for this game.
Wide receiver to either side. Starbuck under center, back to throw, he'll be sacked, never got a chance. Mason Lawbaugh right up the middle, breaks him down inside the 20-yard line.
He could use that strength. He looked to be lined up over the right guard, beat him to the outside, used his typical swim move, and before you know it, there's no one stopping him from getting to the quarterback. Gonna lose 7 on that sack, and that's huge.
That is the end of the opening quarter play with the score. Berwick 3 and Dallas nothing. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio WHLM.
Important when it comes to a lot of things, but especially when it comes to your insurance. At Hartman & Lowley, you're dealing with local people shopping for the best coverage and the best premiums available. You can do that when you're not locked into one company. Call Hartman & Lowley today, 752-3688 for your business insurance quote. Let them do the shopping for you to find the right coverage at the right price. Hartman & Lowley Insurers, 726 West Front Street, Berwick. HartmanandLowleyInsurers.com.
Berwick Bulldog football.
In the WHLM High School football scoreboard, in the second, Selinsgrove and Danville are tied 0-0. In the first, Southern Columbia leads 14-0 over Hughesville, and in the second, Mount Carmel leads 13-0 over Bloomsburg. For WHLM Sports, I'm Raven Klein.
Berwick Bulldog Football, HLM.
Quarter here, Crispin Field, the battle of 7-1 teams. Berwick leading Dallas by a score of 3-0. Dallas in the second quarter will move from our left to our right. They have it back at their 21-yard line. They face a 3rd down and 11.
It's a team that can pass well. They're averaging 25 yards of reception, as you mentioned, Jim, but it's a team that passes when it's unexpected, with play action being their main part of their success. Here they won't have that in 3rd and long with Berwick anticipating.
Starbuck out of the shotgun for the first time. The lefty rolls left, and he fires. He has a completion across the way for a gain out to about the 27, the 28-yard line, well short of the 1st down yardage.
Trying to catch who he threw to, Jim. It was Luke Delgadio, one of his 6'3" receivers. Got it at about 4 yards. Berwick converged. He fought ahead and fell forward, but he's still 4 yards short of the chains.
7 yards on the reception by Delgadio.
Berwick has a player down. They're going to stop it while they tend to him.
And Andy, you mentioned the strategic change for Berwick defensively. Mason Lawball moving inside, and so far it's been a big impact in this game. We believe he was a big part of the stop on 4th and less than 1 for Dallas in Berwick territory, and then the big sack really ruins this series for Dallas.
He's incredibly strong. It's hard to match his strength. Guy shoots out at him, he can just bench press him away. He can use his swim technique effectively. Naquan Smith is the man who got injured, Jim. It looked like he was holding his shoulder as he came off. Punting situation here.
Michael Anderson boomed the last one, and this one comes up a little bit short, but it takes a great roll on the artificial turf, and Dallas will down at the 28-yard line. So that's where the Bulldogs will put it in play. We're just underway here in the second quarter, and Berwick leading Dallas by a score of 3-0.
Got enough of the kick, but it kind of went end over end rather than the way a punt normally sails, and it's going to be awkward to catch and dangerous. So Berwick kind of moved away from it. It took a little bit of a bounce, but not a killer bounce.
The Bulldogs have moved the ball well so far in this opening half. Have it at their 28-yard line. The difference, if you're just joining us, a 32-yard field goal by Jared Groschick, ending an 11-play drive on Berwick's second possession of the game.
He really popped that ball too, Jim, from the left hash. There was no doubt about it when it left his foot that he had the distance. It was sailing. The question was, could he knife it through those two uprights, and he did.
Eric Montez is in as a blocking back to the left side as Lawbaugh sends Wilk in motion, hands it off to Wilk. He'll lose yardage back to the 23-yard line. Great defensive play and read by Dylan Schuster.
He plays the boundary side and kind of cheats up as a linebacker, sometimes like a defensive end. Eric Montez was able to front him, but he would not allow the man to get wide of him. He eventually then goes and makes the play deeper, and that's going to be a loss for Berwick, setting up second and about 16.
The ball at the 23-yard line. Slot to the right side. Lawball out of the pistol. Blake Bauer comes in motion. Lawball's got an option to the right, keep the football, and be dragged down from behind at the 29-yard line and pick up about 6 on the play.
Real nice tackle in there by number 4, Danny Muser. He had to go through all the reads, avoid collapsing on the fake dive, keep an eye on the quarterback, and still try to delay it while the pitchman's in great relationship. He followed the quarterback and slid behind him.
3rd down and 9, Berwick from their own 29-yard line. Blake Bauer starts in motion. They're going to option to the left. Dallas has it played beautifully, and Lawball will be brought down for a loss in the play back at the 28-yard line.
Boy, look at those big men run. Taylor Balesti eventually wrapping him up, and it was Josh Ballera chasing him from behind. Those guys are big, even though it was a counter option, a pitch man in position. Just too dangerous to try to do anything more with that. Give the Dallas defense the win on this series, and Berwick's going to have to settle to punt it away.
Alex Sharkuski back at the Berwick 13-yard line, awaiting the snap of Jake Lanning. Snap is there, and the kick is away. Nice high kick by Sharkowski. Fair catch by Motley. Dropped the football and then gets on it at the 41-yard line. So Dallas with good field position for this possession. 9:18 to go in the first half, and Berwick leading Dallas by a score of 3-0.
Jake Lanning got down there and was right at the man. I believe there was an early whistle, assuming the catch. It would have been a tricky play had it taken one more bounce toward Lanning. Hard to say. I think you'd have to go with an inadvertent whistle and call it dead. It would have taken away a Berwick recovery. But the man was able to fall on it, so all of that's incidental.
Naquan Smith shaken up on that last series, back in there at the corner position for the Bulldogs for this series. Dallas at their 41-yard line, moving from our left to our right. Trailing 3-0. Starbuck back to throw. Big pass rush. He's got to be sacked back inside the 30-yard line. Antonio Barata was chasing him. Jake Seeley joined the chase, and a big sack back at the 25.
Yeah, don't forget J.J. Snyder, Jim. It all came, stormed on in, and it's a question of which man would get there first. They all collapse on him. That sack is going to be a loss of about 13 or 14 yards once you mark it off.
16 to be exact. Second down and 26. Dallas from their 30-yard line as Starbuck hands the ball off. A sweep to the right side. A great tackle in the open field by Antonio Barata as Matt Moransky got the ball with a one-on-one situation out here in the near side of the field, and a good open field tackle by Barata.
They like using him on quick jet sweeps. This time this year they tried, and he's had nice yardage on him. But as you mentioned, it's Barata, not Ryan Lawbaugh at that outside linebacker-looking position. Stayed with him well, got enough of a grip to bring him on down for no gain or a loss.
So this Berwick defense playing without their leading tackler, injured Blaine Cleaver. Still playing very, very well. Here's a third down and 21 for the Mountaineers. They play it conservatively with Kelly, and he is wrapped up by Mason Lawbaugh. That time lining up as defensive end position, the usual spot. But he still got across there and made the tackle on Kelly, who was held to a 2-yard gain and the punt team on.
Also notice Jake Seeley cheating inside to play some inside linebacker. So Berwick going with some different looks. Jake Seeley, among the leading tacklers on the team, giving it a good look.
Matt Ferrara with the long snap. Michael Anderson ready to punt it away. Another good punt. Berwick deep men. A little confusion about who's going to get it, and then the ball is loose inside the 25-yard line. And no indication just yet.
Yeah, they're unpiling and everyone's watching. There's about 5 people in the scrum, about 5 players surrounding it. No motion, no motion. I'm assuming Berwick's going to keep the football. I hate to say it, Jim, but those are inexcusable. These guys are only about 10 yards apart. The ball's coming between them. One man has responsibility for making the call. It's either me, or you. Make up your mind and make the call. If you can't do that, give the other guy the responsibility. You can't let a punt like that bounce between the two, and then to try to pick it up on the bounce when defense is down there is very dangerous, and Berwick almost pays the penalty by almost turning it over.
Yeah, the communication was the first issue, but then after you get over that, you just let it go.
Yeah, yep, and this Dallas defense has been working with momentum. They had a great series last time. You don't want to give them that opportunity of flipping field position the easy way with a turnover on specialty team play.
First and 10, Berwick at their 23. 7-11 remaining opening half. 3-0 Bulldogs. Sean Sheptock wide to the left side. Lawbaugh gives to Blake Maurer coming around. Maurer has some running room down that far sideline, picks up a first down. Maurer lined up to the left, came around, took the handoff, and Berwick moves the sticks as they mark at the 35, 12 yards in the carry by Blake Maurer.
Lenny Kelly, the inside linebacker, reading the reverse, but has to take the deep angle to get it after the 10, 12-yard gain. Real nice run by Maurer, who runs with nice deliberation using his blockers.
First and 10, Bulldogs from their 35-yard line. Ryan Lawbaugh at the quarterback controls, operating out of the pistol. Owen Shoemaker is the running back behind him. 3 receivers to the left. One of them, Tegan Wilkes, starts in motion. The call goes to Shoemaker, and he is brought down after a short gain on the play. The thing about Owen Shoemaker is you can hold him down and keep him in check, and you just know somewhere along the way,
sooner or later,
he is going to burst one.
Yeah, but he needs more of a seam. Those big bodies on the inside. Josh Ballara, the 280-pounder, eventually stops it. They're running very close to number 66, Michael Anderson, who's controlling things. This man really can't move him. It's tough running against this team on the inside. You got to get him leaning.
2nd down and 8. Shoemaker now on a slot to the left as the fake handoff, and the keeper by quarterback Ryan Lawbaugh, and he's over the 40, out to about the 42-yard line.
Get them leaning by making them follow Shoemaker. Lean towards Shoemaker over left guard. Cut it up over the center or over right guard. It's not that far away, but get them leaning the wrong way, and you get the 7-8 yards on the play. 5 yards altogether on the carry. 3rd down and 3. Berwick at their own 42-yard line. Big play. They really would like to make it. I think they're going to go for it with the running game.
Shoemaker lines up behind Lawbaugh, takes the snap, fakes, keeps the football, has the first down over the 45 out to the 48-yard line. Well, Owen Shoemaker gets a lot of attention. A fake to him will usually give you some running room. It did there. 6 yards for Lawbaugh. 1st and 10, Berwick.
An over-aggressive defense, too, certainly helps the Berwick offense as they do overplay Owen Shoemaker. They're not recognizing that it's Ryan Lawbaugh who's the leading rusher in this game with 64 yards now.
Sean Sheptock wide to the left side. In motion, Blake Maurer. Fake toss. Lawbaugh back to throw, fires an interception. The return to the 40. To midfield, to the 45 of Berwick, and ridden out of bounds inside the 40-yard line. Christian Motley with the interception and the return, and Dallas in business, trailing 3-0 with 5:21 remaining in this opening half.
Just a tough pass, Jim. I'm sure it wasn't Matt Moraski 29 on that. He's getting the congratulations. In any case, ball comes up short of the receiver he wants to hit. The man is there, and then the return is big in flipping field position as well.
Dallas 1st and 10 at the Berwick 36-yard line. First interception suffered by Ryan Lawbaugh, and the first turnover of this game. And the Mountaineers trying to cash in, trailing 3-0. 5:21 to go in this first half. Motley is in a slot to the left. Luke Delgadio outside of him. Starbuck under center, play action, back to throw, has some time, now it breaks down, he's going to be brought down. Mason Lawbaugh got the hand on him to start, and they'll mark the ball at the 38, so a loss of 2, 2nd down and 12.
Yeah, J.J. Snyder, a big part of that play as well, got the depth and then had to come back up and get the quarterback who was stepping up and trying to run. Only a loss of 2, but it takes the play away. A team that every time they completed has been getting 25 yards on the season. There has a passing play, go for negative yardage. 3rd sack of the game for Berwick.
Slot to the left side, I formation, 2nd and 12 from the Berwick 38. Starbuck gives the ball to Kelly, and he's going nowhere. Brought down right at the line of scrimmage.
J.J. Snyder at that defensive end position made a nice play. Eric Montez pitching in. Mason Lawbaugh in there. So the people on the inside, the front four that have to have the big game, are able to do it. Mason Lawbaugh sort of grabbing at his hand a little bit. Not an injury that's going to bring him out of the game, but right now in some obvious discomfort.
3rd down and 12. Dallas. Starbuck returns to the huddle after jogging to the sideline to have a chat with head coach Rich Manello. Slot to the left side. I formation. User the fullback ahead of Kelly. Kelly gets the ball, sweeps the left side, has room. The 30, the 25, the 20, and cut down around the 16-yard line. Dallas on 3rd and 12 goes to Lenny Kelly for a big gain off the left side.
Sweeping action out of the I formation around the left side. Mentioned Eric Montez was kind of holding his hand. I don't think he was quite ready for that play. Whether he had contained or the outside backer was nowhere to be seen, and eventually the secondary has to take angles to get Lenny Kelly, who makes a wonderful run using his speed.
21 yards on the carry. 1st and 10 Dallas at the Berwick 17. Alex Sharkuski is in the Berwick defense, replacing Antonio Barata. Starbucks out of the gun. Quarterback draw, looking for room, and he'll get to the 14-yard line. Mason Lawball among the people in on the play for Berwick. 3 yards for Michael Starbuck.
And Joe Lynn also getting on in there. 3 to 4 yards when you stretch it out. And the quarterback with nice play action fake was able to get the rush past him, step up into the linebacker area before they bring him down.
So Dallas threatening. They get the interception into Berwick territory. Now they have it at the Bulldog 14-yard line. Berwick with a 3-0 lead as we go under 3 minutes in this opening half. Slot to the left. I formation, Starbuck under center. Gives the ball to Kelly, sweeping the left side, and he is hit and dropped, and a late hit against Berwick. Good defensive play to start. He gained only a yard or two, but then the late hit, and flags flew, and this is going to be a big play for Dallas.
Yeah, it's on the far side from us, and they ran short side, and Jake Seeley did a real nice job of delaying it, keeping it contained, widening it to the sideline where he's going to force the man to run out. Tegan Wilk, we say, is a guided missile, came on up and couldn't put on the brakes, hit the man as he's going out of bounds, and it was a vicious hit. So the penalty will bring it down to about the 5-yard line.
So a 3-yard gain, and then the half the distance to the goal. It's around the 6-yard line where Dallas has a 1st and goal, a chance to take the lead with 2:44 remaining in this opening half.
And a 15-yard penalty often adds motivation to a team like Dallas.
Call goes to Kelly. Kelly up the middle. Lenny Kelly gets to about the Berwick 3, maybe the 2-yard line.
Berwick had a man grab him near the line of scrimmage, but then tackled him forward. Dallas Schechterly, Mason Lawball coming up from the bottom of the pile. They like to toss him backward rather than forward with his momentum.
Noah Craig checks into the Berwick defensive front as Dallas 2 yards away from the lead. 2nd down and goal.
Very tight splits.
And movement on the line and flag down. If this is against Dallas, this could be a major penalty.
Berwick pointed toward Dallas, and that huddle is moving back. Berwick saw it from their positions, as did the line judge over there on the far side. Well, Steve Jimsky getting a good look, throws that flag as soon as they see the movement.
So now the ball back at the 7 of Berwick. 2nd and goal as we go under 2 minutes remaining in this opening half.
Makes it hard to just straight power this in, so those tight splits for the inside run may widen a little bit.
Delgado wide to the right, and they throw to him in the corner of the end zone. The battle for the football incomplete. Naquan Smith right there with Luke Delgado, and now it's going to be 3rd down and goal for Dallas at the 7.
Bit of a look at the fade pattern, trying to use the 6'3" height of Delgado to go high. Naquan Smith was there, but didn't really make an aggressive play. I'm not sure he knew the ball was even coming. But sort of in the face of the receiver and able to distract it just enough that Delgado can't hold on to it.
3rd down and goal. Dallas at the Berwick 7-yard line. 1:47 to go in the half. Bulldogs leading 3-0. Starbuck gives to Kelly, looking for room. There's not much there. He gets to the 6, maybe the 5. And now a decision coming for Rich Manella. 4th down and goal, and he's got to bring the field goal unit on. So a good defensive stand by Berwick.
Dallas Schechterly got in there, grabbed the man by the waist, and he had a lot of help. Kicker Ryan Fisher has 1 field goal on the season, Jim. It's going to be from the left hash, not quite as far as the one that we saw Jarrett Groshek kick.
And Fisher, this is really just an extended extra point. The hold will be at the 14. So this is a 24-yard field goal attempt.
Left-footed kicker.
And pretty much straight on as the kick is up, and the kick is good. Timeout on the field. 59.8 seconds to go. Opening half. Berwick 3, Dallas 3. You're listening to Bulldogs Football on Sports Radio WHLM.
Yannick Real Estate is your full-service real estate agency. Buying, selling, residential, commercial, multifamily, land, and rental management. Call Yannick Real Estate. Owner Mike Yannick, a veteran himself, served his country and has been serving this area for decades. Mike and his staff will guide you through the real estate process. Veterans, be sure to check the VA loan options. Yannick Real Estate, your full-service real estate agency. 1232 West Front Street in Berwick. Call 759-3300.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptock. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
Berwick Bulldog football. WHLM Bloomsburg. WBWX Berwick. HLM.
Luke Fisher with a 24-yard field goal has tied it at 3, 59.8 seconds remaining this opening half. Kickoff goes by Aiden Mason into the end zone for a touchback. So Berwick with timeouts remaining, but we'll see how they play. With the score tied at 3, they will get the football to start the second half.
I'd play this conservatively. Had they gotten a great return out to about the 35 or 40, then I might have been a little bit more aggressive. The fact that it's going to come to the 25 after the touchback with the roll, and the fact that they're the 20-yard lines where they have it. I have to get my rules straight in high school, Jim. And the last pass being intercepted and poorly thrown, I think you play this rather close to the vest.
Dallas has timeouts remaining as well. It's been a quick-moving opening half, which is refreshing.
Yeah.
Compared to many of the games we've seen this season.
A lot of running, only 7 passes, and, of course, minimal scoring, just 3 points each way.
Two good defensive teams living up to their billing here in the opening half. Both teams at 7-1. Likely number 2 seed in the Quad A District 2 playoffs coming to the winner of this one. And too much time by the Bulldogs.
Yeah, without the clock moving, so no big hurry, but they're kind of looking to make sure everyone's straight. I think now, even more importantly, you look at a way to kill this half, but I think over on the other side, Rich Manello with this field position wants to make sure that he might get the opportunity, at least force Berwick into the punt.
1st and 15 for the Bulldogs. Ball gives the ball to Shoemaker, tries the right side, gets just a yard. And looks like Dallas is not going to call the timeout, so we would think that they would just let this one play out.
Taylor Balesta fronted the play, and then from the backside, it's Michael Anderson, 300-pounder, coming down from the nose guard position and throwing Owen Shoemaker back.
2nd and 14 after the yard gain. And now Berwick will just take a knee. They have a man deep behind the quarterback. Lawbaugh as a protector as Lawbaugh takes the knee, and that will be it. The end of the first half of play with the score. Dallas 3, Berwick 3. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio WHLM.
S.J. Kowalski Heating and Air Conditioning sells comfort. Since 1972, S.J. Kowalski understands the importance of doing business locally. They service what they sell and take pride in customer satisfaction. S.J. Kowalski is a trained comfort specialist, a Lennox dealer, and they are Northeastern Pennsylvania's premier dealer of Mitsubishi ductless mini-split systems. S.J. Kowalski also sells and installs energy-efficient Renai water heaters and geothermal systems. Call 1-888-KOWALSKI and ask about special promotions and zero-interest financing.
Riverview Block of Berwick, with over 60 years of service, can handle all of your block and concrete needs. They carry all sizes of concrete and lightweight block. They have front-end discharge trucks for ready-mix concrete. Riverview Block also carries all masonry supplies, sand and gravel. For prompt delivery, call Riverview Block 752-7191. Riverview Block is proud to support the Berwick Bulldogs.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptock. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
Fall is here, and so are the savings. At Fairfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, there are no tricks, just plenty of treats. We have the best prices, and our service is second to none. That's why we've won the prestigious Customer First Award 2 years in a row. Plus, for each vehicle sold in October, we're donating $25 to UPMC Susquehanna's Catherine Kander Lundy Breast Health Center. During Ram Power Days, you can get over $13,000 in total values on select new 2018 Ram 1500s, and no one has a better selection. We are your Ram headquarters with hundreds available. It's also Jeep Adventure Days, so you can save thousands on that new Jeep you've been thinking about. Lease a 2019 Cherokee Latitude for only $189. Browse our entire inventory online with over 300 new vehicles available. Fairfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 2 locations, Route 405 in Muncie or Route 11 in Danville. Fairfield, for fair deals. Leases for 36 months, $34.99 to its signing, 0 security deposit. Offer ends October 31st. See dealer for complete details.
Fairfield, you're gonna love us.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptock. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
Berwick Bulldog football. WHLM Bloomsburg. WBWX Berwick. HLM.
Halftime from Crescent Field. Bulldogs and Mountaineers of Dallas locked in a 3-3 tie with a lot riding on this one. The likely number 2 seed in the District 2 Quad A playoffs will be the winner of this game. You're listening to the halftime show brought to you by the law offices of Lutz and Petty. Down in the field right now, the latest inductees into the Berwick High School Sports Hall of Fame being honored. And they, tomorrow night at the Maria Santa Society, starting at 5:30, be the official ceremonies. Let me just go through the names quickly. Tom Height, the former district champion tennis player and a cross-country standout, also all-state soccer. He was all around. Gus Felder. Looks like he's wasting away to nothing out there.
He's still tall.
He still is a big man. He, of course, was a tremendous player here at Berwick. Went on to be a 4-year letter winner at Penn State. Becky McClintock, cross-country standout. Megan Delagrati, just an outstanding high school basketball player on that 1998 girls team that advanced to the state championship game. A player that Andy and I know very well, Jeremiah Dyer, an all-state linebacker, went on to help Bloomsburg University advance to a national championship game. Tony Scala, a state champion Little League coach, who also coached Berwick boys and girls basketball. John Kutchka, the late John Kutchka, posthumous honoree, standout at Berwick in football, basketball, and baseball. And a high school cross-country teammate of mine, Michael Silvetti, a successful basketball player and an outstanding runner. Again, that's the class, the latest inductees in the Berwick Sports Hall of Fame. They will be inducted in ceremonies at the Maria Santa tomorrow, starting at 5:30. Well, we've got a 3-3 game here at the half. First play from scrimmage in this game, a 47-yard run by Lenny Kelly of Dallas. So the Mountaineers threatening from the very start, but on 4th and 1 from the 16-yard line of Berwick, they went to a quarterback keeper, and Michael Starbuck actually lost yardage. Big play by the Bulldogs and Mason Lawbaugh. Berwick, on their second possession of this game, put together an 11-play scoring drive. They went from their 35 to the Dallas 15. That led to a 32-yard field goal by Jarrett Groche. Big plays along the way, a 20-yard run by Owen Shoemaker, an 11-yard pass from Ryan Lawbaugh to Tegan Wilk, and a 10-yard run by Ryan Lawbaugh. The field goal came with 1:06 remaining in the opening quarter. Berwick led after one, 3-0. Dallas got the big defensive play in that second quarter. Matt Moransky intercepting a Ryan Lawbaugh pass and returning it to the Berwick 36-yard line. 8 plays later, Dallas settling for a 24-yard field goal by Ryan Fisher. Biggest play on that 8-play drive, a 21-yard run by Lenny Kelly. That came with 59.8 seconds to go in the half, a half that has ended with Berwick and Dallas locked in a 3-3 tie. We'll check the stats with Andy Lickney. Later on, we'll hear an update on the high school football scoreboard with Raven Klein. But now, 3-3 is the lead. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio WHLM.
Neighbor Fence Company has fencing for where you want it, serving Columbia, Montour, and Luzerne counties. Neighbor Fence provides top-quality residential and commercial fencing, vinyl, chain link, wood, aluminum, and ornamental fencing, plus vinyl railing and specialty products. Neighbor Fence Company, 1140 State Route 239 in Wapwallopen. Call 570-752-4423 or visit them online at neighborfencecompany.com. Neighbor Fence Company is a proud sponsor of local youth athletic teams.
I'm Ken Pollock from Ken Pollock Ford, happy to embark on the 2018 football season. There's no greater thrill than being able to come together as a team to accomplish great things. That's how we are at Ken Pollock Ford, a big team working together to make sure our customers are taken care of and everyone gets a fair deal. The 2018 models are almost gone, but some great deals still remain, like the 2018 F-150 Super Crew XLT for just $299 a month for 36 months plus tax, $45.95 do-it signing, no security deposit, or 0% financing on most 2018 model year SUVs at Ken Pollock Ford, Route 11 Berwick. Lease price based on 10,500 miles per year. Offer expires 10/31/18.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptock. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
If you have a child that's interested in gymnastics, or if you've been practicing the sport for years, then Access Gymnastics Academy is where you want to be. Their dedicated coaches will teach you everything you need to know to perform your best, from the basics of flexibility, form, and style, to advanced techniques that will improve your rhythm and style during a routine. Call Heidi Rebuck at Access Gymnastics Academy at 570-441-5969. That's 570-441-5969. Now enrolling for beginner to advanced classes at 917 East 7th Street in Bloomsburg.
Choose with confidence. The Medicine Shop.
At the Medicine Shop Pharmacy, located at the corner of 9th and Pine Streets in Berwick, caring goes beyond the prescriptions. Discover the one-on-one customer service and dedication that makes caring part of the culture at the Medicine Shop in Berwick. Stock up on everything you need to keep you and your family healthy all year long. The Medicine Shop Pharmacy, located on the corner of 9th and Pine Streets in Berwick, where caring goes beyond the prescriptions.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptock. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
Berwick Bulldog football.
WHLM Bloomsburg. WBWX Berwick.
HLM.
Halftime from Crispin Field of Berwick. Dallas Area Marching Band entertaining the crowd here at Crispin Field. Berwick 3, Dallas 3. Stats in the first half. Andy Lickney.
Well, Jim, taking a look at it, Berwick has the overall edge with 125 yards. Dallas not that far behind, 75 yards. I think the big difference is the difference in the quarterbacks. Michael Starbuck, the quarterback for Dallas, has been sacked on 3 occasions. He has 5 carries for minus 22. On the other hand, Ryan Lawbaugh has been running by design. He has 10 carries for 64 yards. That makes up pretty much the difference in the offenses. We'll start with Dallas. Lenny Kelly's having a very strong game. Averages 129 yards a game, and he's already at 10 carries for 86 yards. And that's very, very strong against Berwick. Other ball carriers, we're looking at Jake Delgadio. He has 1 for minus 1. Danny Muser has 1 for 5 yards. And then we mentioned Michael Starbuck with 5 for minus 22. So basically the positive yards of Lenny Kelly, subtract the negative yards of Michael Starbuck, and you're at 68 yards in the rushing game. Big, strong offensive line is able to make some things happen. Berwick's neutralizing it some on the inside. They've been burned on the outside with some sweep plays, an area you wouldn't expect them to be beaten at, but that's been the case so far. In passing, neither team's been strong. Michael Starbuck at quarterback is just a 1 complete in 4 attempts. Luke Delgadio made that, and it was just a 7-yarder. So 7 in the passing game, 68 net in the running game, total of 75 yards for Dallas on their 21 plays. Berwick has 24 plays, so you can see how evenly matched this has been. 21 on the ground, 3 in the air. The passing has not been strong, just 1 complete. Keegan Wilk caught an 11-yarder as they played way off him, and there was 1 interception thrown, and that led to the scoring drive. Just 11 yards in the air on 1 of 3 passing. On the ground, 21 rushes for 114 yards. They're trying to establish Owen Shoemaker, and he's had some good, tough runs. In all, though, 7 carries for 35 yards. And that big Dallas front really makes it tough to establish him as they lean in his direction. Countering from him, though, has been quarterback Ryan Lawbaugh, and he's the star on the ground. 10 rushes, 64 yards for the quarterback. Add Keegan Wilk, he has 2 carries back to 0 yards as he had 7 and then lost 7. Blake Maurer has 2 carries for a total of 15. And then the rest with that gaming between Owen Shoemaker and Ryan Lawbaugh. 114 in the air on 21 rushes for Berwick. 1 of 3 passing with an interception. 11 yards in the air. The 114 and the 11 makes 125 for Berwick. Not all that strong, but it's going against a very strong defense. And compared to the 75 Berwick's defense has given up, Berwick seems to have a little bit of an edge, but the turnover critical in allowing this to be tied here at halftime.
Dallas has made a living this season, as we talked earlier, 20.7 yards per completion for their quarterback, Michael Starbuck. It's come mostly on play action. Berwick has not bit, and yet they've been able to get great pressure on.
Yeah, they really have, and out of position, too. We've mentioned Mason Lawbaugh, dipped down inside defensive tackle, flipping spots with J.J. Snyder. And it's a little different rushing action against different type of people, different sizes, different actions. Against Berwick, still has managed the 3 sacks where they had minus 25 yards on quarterback Michael Starbuck. So they have pressured him. And of the 3 incomplete passes he got downfield, there was nice coverage. You have to be impressed by what we're seeing from Berwick's corners. Peyton Williams and Naquan Smith have made nice plays.
Dallas has done a terrific job defensively on Owen Shoemaker, but as we mentioned earlier, there's been games like that this year where Owen was contained, and then broke the big one. Berwick could use a big one in the second half.
They're so aggressive that they do go to the first movement. Of course, the most dangerous threat is Owen Shoemaker. You can't blame an aggressive team to do that, especially the big men. You kind of get caught up, you get yourself leaning. But what's happening while Owen Shoemaker only has the 35 yards, it's the counters of the quarterback. Ryan Lawbaugh with 64 rushing yards from his quarterback position is going off, and it's not all that far away. They'll fake Owen Shoemaker over the left guard. They'll run Ryan Lawbaugh over the right guard. It's just enough of a lean. And then Ryan Lawbaugh, a very physical type of runner, is going to break grabs and hand tackles and make things happen. And I think so far that's the difference offensively between the teams.
Nothing to choose here through one half of play in this battle for the second seed in the District 2 Quad A playoffs, which will begin 2 weeks from tonight. Berwick 3, Dallas 3. More scores upcoming. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio WHLM.
Quality care for your dental health at Berwick Dental Arts, 105 West 9th Street in Berwick. State-of-the-art equipment comes together with a tradition of 45 years of personalized care. From the youngest to the oldest patient, let Berwick Dental Arts doctors and staff take care of every aspect of your dental needs. They'll process all types of insurances. Make your appointment today. Call Berwick Dental Arts friendly staff at 752-4542. Berwick Dental Arts, making smiles beautiful.
There's only one name you need to know when it comes to your pool table needs, and that's Gebhardt's. Stop in at Gebhardt's on Mundy Street in Wilkes-Barre to get top brand names like Olhausen and Brunswick, along with all the necessities, Q sticks, Q cases, poker supplies, and more. Visit Gebhardt's at Mundy Street in Wilkes-Barre and check out their website, gebhardts.com. Gebhardt's, your full-line, full-service home game room headquarters.
The Mayo Funeral Homes, located at 110 Chestnut Street in Berwick and 77 Main Street in Chickashinny, are proud sponsors of Berwick Bulldog football. The Mayo Funeral Homes, serving all faiths, makes it easier for those you love with pre-arranged funeral counseling, insurance, and pre-financed funerals. Mayo Funeral Homes also offers expert guidance in both traditional and cremation services. Mayo Funeral Homes, perfection in every detail.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptock. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
Yannick Real Estate is your full-service real estate agency. Buying, selling, residential, commercial, multifamily, land, and rental management. Call Yannick Real Estate. Owner Mike Yannick, a veteran himself, served his country and has been serving this area for decades. Mike and his staff will guide you through the real estate process. Veterans, be sure to check the VA loan options. Yannick Real Estate, your full-service real estate agency. 1232 West Front Street in Berwick. Call 759-3300.
S.J. Kowalski Heating and Air Conditioning sells comfort. Since 1972, S.J. Kowalski understands the importance of doing business locally. They service what they sell and take pride in customer satisfaction. S.J. Kowalski is a trained comfort specialist, a Lennox dealer, and they are Northeastern Pennsylvania's premier dealer of Mitsubishi ductless mini split systems. S.J. Kowalski also sells and installs energy-efficient Renai water heaters and geothermal systems. Call 1-888-KOWALSKI and ask about special promotions and zero-interest financing.
DeFevo Graphics Signs and Apparel. Custom-built LED signs, vehicle graphics, custom wraps, banners, screen printing, mugs, t-shirts, business signs, magnets, hats, embroidery, stand-ups, indoor signage, and custom car accents. DeFevo Graphics Signs and Apparel. Family-owned and operated since the turn of the century. All work is produced in-shop. DeFevo does not sell products that they do not make, and that equals quality control. DeFevo Graphics Signs and Apparel on Route 11 between Bloomsburg and Berwick at 7553 Columbia Boulevard or online at DeFevoGraphics.com. And don't forget DeFevos for yard signs during the upcoming political season.
Berwick Bulldog football.
In the high school football scoreboard, at the half, Danville leads Selinsgrove 17-0. In the second, Southern Columbia leads Hughesville 55-0. At half, Mount Carmel leads Bloomsburg 27-0. In the second, Central Columbia leads Lewisburg 21-3. In the second, Hazleton leads Coughlin 28-6. In the second, Shamokin leads Shikellamy 14-0. At half, Wallenpaupack leads Williamsport 22-3. In the second, South Williamsport leads Milton 21-0. At half, Pottsville leads Blue Mountain 28-14. At half, Loyalsock leads Warrior Run 21-0. In the second, Montoursville leads Towanda 35-7. At half, Delaware Valley leads Wyoming Valley West 31-0. In the second, Wyoming area leads Hanover 42-0. At half, Minersville leads Shenandoah Valley 28-7. In the second, Old Forge leads Northwest 28-13. In the second, Abington Heights leads West Scranton 10-7. And in the second, Valley View leads Scranton 35-0. The WHLM High School Football Scoreboard is the service of Zimmer Insurance in Bloomsburg. Qualified answers from local people. For WHLM Sports, I'm Raven Klein.
Berwick Bulldog football. HLM.
About set to go in the second half of football here at Crispin Field. Berwick and Dallas locked in a 3-3 tie. Berwick will get the football to start the second half. The Bulldogs will be moving from our left to our right in this half.
One thing I do want to bring up, Jim, I thought it was a mistake on the part of Rich Manello that he didn't force Berwick to punt at the end of the half. He had the timeouts in his pocket. Punting in the high school level is always a challenge. There's the chance for the bad snap. There's the chance for the block. There's the chance your punter mishandles it or shanks it and just puts you in field goal range. He had the timeouts. I'm stunned he didn't force Berwick to punt.
Three dangerous return men for Berwick as the Bulldogs will move from our right to our left in the second half, which is underway. Fisher's kick is a line drive. It goes to the far side to Aiden Mason from the 10. He turns the corner, the 20, the 25, the 30, the 35, the 40, the 45, out to midfield and into Dallas territory at the 46-yard line. Aiden Mason, the Berwick ninth grader, who coming into this game was averaging 44.8 yards a return. I think he got that.
Thrilling as well, Jim. Came up the left side, waited for a block, and cut inside at about the 30. And then weaved his way past the 50-yard line before Michael Lukasavage brought him down, or that would have been a touchdown. Very exciting opening for Berwick for this half.
44 yards on the return, 1st and 10, Berwick at the Dallas 46. Score tied at 3, we're just underway. Ryan Wabaugh out of the pistol. Shoemaker, the running back behind him, and Wabaugh drops the snap, picks it up, and then is buried at midfield. Low snap. Wabaugh had to go to the ground, then he was able to get on it, but then he was covered for a 4-yard loss.
Made the first man miss, but then Xander Shaner sifted on through, grabbed him by the ankle and wouldn't let go. So yes, a 4-yard loss after the thrilling, momentum-swinging kick return.
Slot to the right, slot to the left. Wabaugh again out of the pistol. Gives the ball to Shoemaker, who's got room to the 45, the 40, the 35, the 30 before he's tripped up from behind. Owen Shoemaker with a big gain and Berwick with a first down.
Yeah, over 15 yards as he burst straight up the middle, following the blocks, making those little nifty moves, weaving left and right before he trips himself up.
20 yards on the carry by Owen Shoemaker. 1st and 10, Berwick at the Dallas 30. Shoemaker will get it again off the right side. This time Dallas is up to the task. He'll get 2, maybe 3 on the play.
See what they do stretch it for, but he was able to get through the very front four to the linebacker level, but the linebackers on this team are pretty strong. I've been impressed by the play of that running back linebacker, Lenny Kelly, who's very aggressive.
They give him 3 to the 27, so it's 2nd down and 7 for the Bulldogs. Dallas Schechterly is in there as a tight end to the left. Will Decker, the tight end to the right. A slot to the right. 2nd down call. Lawbaugh gives the ball to Shoemaker, tries the right side, and not much doing. Maybe a yard on the play. Dylan Schuster comes up, make the play for Dallas.
Quarterback was wrapped up, so Dallas talked to their players and said, hey, don't always go for that first man. Maintain your gaps, and it was backside. One of those big linemen wrapped up Ryan Lawbaugh as they let Shoemaker run.
3rd down and 6. Berwick from the Dallas 26. As Lawbaugh gives the ball to Shoemaker, and he's hit and dropped for a loss back at the 27-yard line. So 4th down play coming for Berwick. Probably a play from scrimmage as they're inside the Dallas 30.
And it changed some personnel. Sean Sheptock, the speedster, one of the people coming on in. Sometime when a defense realize they have to stop the chains 8 yards downfield, they overplay that and forget about the end zone. Keep an eye on Sheptock, far right.
4th down and 7. Out of the pistol is Ryan Lawbaugh. 2 wide receivers either side. Now Blake Maurer comes in motion. A fake toss to him. Roll left is Lawbaugh. Man in pursuit. Lawbaugh will throw at the last minute. Has a man, or are they giving him the completion? It's Tegan Wilk at the sideline at the 20-yard line. He looks like he has a first down.
If they got it to the 20, and they are going to move the chains, Jim.
Brilliant play by Ryan Lawbaugh. He was in the grasp and makes the pass to Tegan Wilk. 4th and 7. They get 7 and move the sticks.
Dallas red bootleg, and the man chased him down as he's rolling to his left and needing to throw right-handed. He slipped down from the knee to the ankle, but he did have him as Lawbaugh releases to Wilk.
From the 20-yard line. Here comes Maurer in motion, a pitch to him. He cuts it inside. Dallas is all over. They brought down the line of scrimmage. Great pursuit by the Mountaineer defense.
They're very good, and I think they're playing a little bit more controlled. Kind of rein in some of the aggressiveness to maintain their areas of responsibility. In the first half, Blake Maurer had 2 carries for 15 yards. That time they sit right on him, no gain.
2nd down and 10. Berwick at the Dallas 20. Bulldogs threatening here in the 3rd quarter with the score tied at 3. 3 receivers to the left. Lawbaugh sends Tegan Wilk in motion. The call goes to Owen Shoemaker up the middle, and Shoemaker, looking for room, is wrestled down about the 16-yard line.
Michael Anderson met him low, but 2 yards into the run past the line of scrimmage, and Shoemaker keeps things pushing and pushing. Get about 3 or 4 on that.
3rd down and 6. Aiden Mason checks into the Berwick offense. That usually means that Owen Shoemaker will move to a slot position. He does on the left. 3rd down and 6. Berwick at the Dallas 16. Big call here in the 3rd quarter with the score tied. Here comes Wilk in motion. He gets the handoff. Sweeps the left side. The 15, the 10, and down to the 4-yard line. Tegan Wilk on the jet sweep gets the first down.
Looked like he might have been able to get to the end zone, but as he cut back against the green, a man trying to change direction fell, and he tripped over him. So the jet sweep, go to your star. Tegan Wilk comes on through with the play.
12 yards on the carry. 1st and goal, Berwick at the 4. Trying for the first touchdown of this game. 7:40 to go in the 3rd. Score tied at 3. Shoemaker is the running back behind Lawbaugh. A fake to Shoemaker. Lawbaugh keeps it and gets into the end zone off the left side. Ryan Lawbaugh from 4 yards out, and Berwick has the lead.
Hadn't shown that action yet in this half. It's been to Owen Shoemaker, Owen Shoemaker, Owen Shoemaker, and then other types of looks. So here as you get down inside in scoring range. Fake Shoemaker off the right side. He ran right into Mike Anderson. But take your other man over the left side, just over left guard, not that far away, and Lawbaugh finds the end zone.
Started with that long kick return by Aiden Mason to start the 2nd half. Finished by Ryan Lawbaugh from 4 yards out. Jarrett Groshik's extra point attempt is up, and the kick is good. Timeout on the field. 7:32 to go, third quarter. Berwick 10, Dallas 3. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio WHLM.
Riverview Block of Berwick, with over 60 years of service, can handle all of your block and concrete needs. They carry all sizes of concrete and lightweight block. They have front-end discharge trucks for ready-mix concrete. Riverview Block also carries all masonry supplies, sand and gravel. For prompt delivery, call Riverview Block 752-7191. Riverview Block is proud to support the Berwick Bulldogs.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptock. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
Berwick Bulldog football. WHLM Bloomsburg. WBWX Berwick. HLM.
We'll drive by Berwick to start this second half. They go 10 plays, 46 yards. Big plays, 20-yard run by Owen Shoemaker. Tegan Wilk with 2 huge plays, a 7-yard reception on a 4th and 7, then a 12-yard run to set up Ryan Lawbaw's 4-yard touchdown carry. Jared Groshek with the extra point, 10-3 Bulldogs. 7:32 to go in the third quarter as Groshek with another nice kick, and Moransky back at the 5-yard line to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, cut down about the 26-yard line.
Alex Sharkuski getting in, going low on him. Kick not quite as far as the others, but down to the 5 in high school is still extremely impressive. He gets his 20 yards till he meets the interference. Sharkuski maintaining his lane, takes the legs out from under him, going low.
So Berwick with a good-looking drive to start this second half is taking the lead. Now Dallas will try to answer. They have it for the first time in this third quarter. 1st and 10 at their own 26-yard line as they move from our left to our right.
Mason Lawbaugh still inside at left defensive tackle. Now it's a 5-man line.
Luke Delgaudio is wide to the left side as the give is to Lenny Kelly, and Kelly tries the left side, powers out to about the 30-yard line.
Working their way in, Antonio Barada, the outside linebacker, getting his helmet in there, but not stopping Kelly from getting 4 yards.
2nd down and 6. Dallas from their own 30-yard line. Mountaineers come in with a 7-1 record. Their only loss last week to Valley View, the only team to have defeated Berwick. Valley View, the likely number 1 seed for those upcoming playoffs. Number 2 seed will be decided in all probability by this game tonight. Starbuck under center. Fake to Kelly, rolling left. Turns the corner, has some running room to the 35, and he is really hit there by Tegan Wilk. I believe short of the first down yardage.
Yep, they're going to move it to about a foot of the chain. Fake that fooled me. I was following the runner into the hole. He ended up bootlegging wide to the left and then running. And again, they've been getting some soft corners. But Tegan Wilk was not fooled. They're going to give him the spot and give him the change, Jim. Tegan Wilk comes up hard, and he always puts a hard shock on you when he's able to get that good hit.
Starbuck came into the game with some decent running numbers, 182 yards rushing. 1st and 10, Dallas at their 36-yard line. First possession of the second half for the Mountaineers. Wide receiver to either side. Starbuck gives the ball to Kelly. Kelly off the left side. Gets into the secondary, and a good first down carry for Lenny Kelly. Just weaving his way through the Berwick defense, gets out to the 43.
Eric Montez and Antonio Barada coming in, but somehow he finds the littlest seam. It looked like it was stuffed up by the defensive front. But linemen engaged, fronting their men. No one can get an arm on him. And Kelly's going to get a good 7 yards, give him 97 on the game.
How good is Lenny Kelly? When he was a 9th grader playing varsity, he had 211 yards against Hazleton area. Whew. So he burst on the scene. He's still getting it done. 2nd and 3. Dallas from their 43-yard line. Starbuck gives to Kelly again, trying to get outside left, turns the corner over midfield. The Berwick 45, and ridden out of bounds by Tegan Wilk at the Berwick 43-yard line.
There's his 100-yard game, Jim. Jake Seeley was blitzing from that side where he was running, but he overran the play on the inside. Read it wrong. He may have thought pass. He let the runner get around him. Now there's no one there for contain, and eventually Tegan Wilk has to run him down.
14 yards on the carry by Lenny Kelly. So Berwick scores in their first possession. Dallas trying to answer. 10-3 Bulldogs. 5:10 to go in the third quarter. Dallas at the Berwick 43-yard line. Starbuck with the I formation behind him. Play action, back to throw, and he has time, and he's looking long for Farrell. The ball is tipped and incomplete. Jack Farrell, the tight end at the 10. Tegan Wilk got his hands on it.
It was thrown high because Farrell's at 6'3". Tegan Wilk went up, and then his momentum took him behind the receiver. They tip the ball. It goes behind the receiver. Wilk follows it, and that's the gasp from the crowd as he's almost able to get his fingertips on that.
Second down and 10. Dallas at the Berwick 43-yard line. Delgadio wide to the right. Moransky wide left. Starbuck under centers. Moransky comes in motion to the right. The call goes to Kelly up the middle. Kelly's got some running room. He gets to the Berwick 35-yard line.
Antonio Barada forced into making too many tackles, Jim. It's getting by the front level of the front four. It's getting by the inside linebackers. Barada has to come over and make the play, but not until there's a 7-8 yard gain.
Here's a third down and 3. Dallas probably in 4-down territory at the Berwick 36-yard line. Matt Ferrara now is the fullback ahead of Kelly in the eye. Kelly gets the call up the middle looking for the first down yardage. He's very close.
Yeah, I think the spot's going to give it to him. We'll see where they do spot it. He pounded inside. We mentioned the size, the strength, the great fundamentals of this offensive line. They are going to move the chains and call it a first down. They really do explode off the ball very, very well. Good in short yardage situation.
This drive started at the Dallas 26. It's now at the Berwick 33-yard line. First and 10 for the Mountaineers. They'll send Moransky now to the right, Delgadio to the left. Ferrara again, the fullback, ahead of Kelly in the eye. Starbuck is back to throw, and he's looking long to the far side. The ball's batted down, incomplete. Great defensive work by Peyton Williams on the far side of the field.
He was there, stayed with the man all the way before he even gets to turn and look. It actually bounces off his helmet. But he's in position, shadowing the man, taking the play away, able to get the deflection even though it's not in your typical manner.
Luke Delgadio was the intended receiver. Good play by the sophomore Williams. It's second down and 10 Dallas at the Berwick 33.
Delgadio at 6'3" is tough. 22 catches, 553 yards on the season. Tops in yardage for a receiver in the league.
Starbuck gives to Kelly. Kelly up the middle. Kelly is hit and dropped after a short gain. Got to about the 30-yard line, so it's going to bring up third down and 7 for Dallas.
But as you mentioned, Jim, they're in fourth down territory, still way too far for even thinking about a field goal. They'll have to get the chains and more. So a team that prides itself on its running game in this third and about 7 could think of 2 runs in order to do this.
Big call coming, Mountaineers. Third down at the Berwick 30. Delgadio wide left, Moransky wide right. Starbuck under center. Play action, back to throw, and the lefty fires, and he has a man wide open, Delgadio, for a first down at the Berwick 14-yard line.
He ran his corner off and then squared out to the sideline. Wonderful timing play. Luke Delgadio, as we mentioned, best receiver in terms of yardage on the season. Great timing with Michael Starbuck. Took a sort of a 3-step drop, looked comfortable, and on the short pass, hit him on the out.
16 yards on the reception by Delgadio. First and 10 Dallas at the Berwick 14-yard line. Clock running, 3:24 to go in the third. Berwick leading 10-3. Starbuck gives the ball to Kelly, tries the left side, and nothing there.
Jake Seeley that time coming hard, forced to play inside. He's at that outside linebacker position on the right. He's crashing, but this time very aware of the running back. He wasn't on the last long run. This time he's there, gets his left inside arm on the play, slows it down, and keeps it to no gain.
12th play of the drive coming. Second and 10 Dallas at the Berwick 14.
Flawless, no penalties.
Slot to the right side. Starbuck gives to Kelly off the right side. He's dropped back at the 20-yard line for a loss as J.J. Snyder makes a big play for the Bulldogs.
As he took the exchange, he bobbled the ball. It almost bounced off his numbers and forward, but he regains the ball and the possession. But through his own timing out, made him panic a little bit in the sweeping action, taking him to the right side. was caught by penetration from J.J. Snyder, who grabs the jersey and spins him to the ground for the 3-yard loss.
They mark it at the 18, so it is 3rd down and 14 for Dallas at the Berwick 18. Slot to the left side. Starbuck gives the ball straight ahead to Muser. Muser, the fullback, is inside the 5, and he's in the end zone for a touchdown. Dallas with a quick hitter to Danny Muser, the fullback. He goes in from 18 yards out. Dallas is an extra point away from a tie.
Muser on the season had 7 carries coming into the game. That's his second of this game. He only had 15 yards, and that little burst catches Berwick unexpectedly. He bursts off the left side on the quick hitter. People are teeing back through him to Lenny Kelly. And Muser is by the front lines of defense and into the end zone.
Terrific drive by the Mountaineers to answer Berwick's touchdown drive. 18-yard run by Muser, and now Fisher will try to tie it up. Snap, placement, kick is up, and the kick is good. Time out of the field. Exactly 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Berwick 10, Dallas 10. You're listening to Bulldogs Football on Sports Radio WHLM.
Neighbor Fence Company has fencing for where you want it, serving Columbia, Montour, and Luzerne counties. Neighbor Fence provides top-quality residential and commercial fencing, vinyl, chain link, wood, aluminum, and ornamental fencing, plus vinyl railing and specialty products. Neighbor Fence Company, 1140 State Route 239 in Wapwallopen. Call 570-752-4423 or visit them online at neighborfencecompany.com. Neighbor Fence Company is a proud sponsor of local youth athletic teams.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptock. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
Berwick Bulldog football. WHLM Bloomsburg. WBWX Berwick. HLM.
2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Dallas 10, Berwick 10. And what a brilliant call by Rich Manoa. That's the last thing you would expect on 3rd and 14, a quick hitter to the fullback.
Yeah, and their other running backs besides Lenny Kelly have very few carries, very little yardage. That quick hitter, a little quick trap in there, caught Berwick, and he zipped on in. Great run by Danny Muser.
Fisher will kick it off very, very high, and Tegan Wilk back at the 5-yard line to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, the 25, the 30, and out to the 35-yard line. Another terrific return by the Bulldogs. Will take over with 1:54 to go in the third. They scored on their first possession of this half. Dallas answered with a score of their own. We're tied at 10.
Yeah, Sean Cuba made that tackle, or Tegan Wilk might have had more. Used a few nice blocks, made a jump cut in there, and brought it out to the 35. Berwick needs to replicate its last drive, keep itself scoring.
That was a 13-play, 74-yard drive by Dallas to tie it up.
Mistake-free. Hard to go 13 plays in high school without a penalty or a fumble. They had one bounce off the chest of Kelly, but got it in.
Ryan Lawbar has the snap, tosses the ball to Tegan Wilk, trying the left side, looking for some running room. There's not much there. He'll pick up a yard, maybe 2 on the play, and Noah Craig is on the ground, injured for Berwick.
But he's holding his left shin, Jim, rather than the knee or the ankle. Noah Craig couldn't maintain his block. He pulled and needed to kick out. The man pushed off of him and then made the play on Tegan Wilk, and you could see Noah Craig going down to the leg. Had it been a knee or an ankle, you get very, very concerned, but he seemed to reach in the shin. Sometimes you can get a Charlie horse, or you can get kicked in there. The team, very attentive to it. They'll probably move them off and huddle them out further, but again, the team on the sideline is close to the play.
Frank Sheptock tells us that Noah Craig has been playing absolutely dominating football from that offensive line. He does get up and walk off under his own power. Now, they did bring in Justin Eckert to replace Sully Slabinski, so I figure maybe Slabinski will come in and replace Craig. We'll have to look at that offensive front as they're going to work on the calf, it looks like, of Craig on the sideline. Here's a 2nd down and 8 call. Lawball, quarterback draw, over the 40, over the 45, has the first down out to the 49-yard line.
Strong running. He sold the quarterback draw with the delay. He lets the front come past him, sets it into the linebacker range, and eventually Sean Cuba catches him, but not till he has the chains. Wonderful design on that play. Great execution.
12 yards on the carry by Ryan Lawbaugh. 1st and 10, Berwick at their 49-yard line. Lawbaugh gives the ball to Shoemaker. Shoemaker bounces away from one tackler, but then he's brought down at the line of scrimmage. Boy, that is a terrific play by Dylan Schuster.
Yeah, he's tough. He plays the outside linebacker. He's going to play field side. He saw the sweep. Actually, it was supposed to be a dive over right tackle, cut inside, but it was stuffed. But Shoemaker bounced it very nicely. It looked like he was going to get wide, but Dylan Schuster, maintaining his area of responsibility, playing to contain, catches him and spins him down to the ground for no gain.
2nd down and 10. Berwick at their 49. 3 receivers to the left. One of them, Blake Bauer, starts in motion. The give is to Tegan Wilk coming around, and Wilk is hit hard as he gets over midfield to the Dallas 49. Pickup of just 2. It's going to be 3rd down and 8. Good news for Berwick. Noah Craig okay and back in that offensive front.
Yeah, it was Dylan Schuster again, this time here on the right, which was field side. And as Tegan Wilk broke that inside, he came down hard and made the play nicely.
And that is the final play of the 3rd quarter with the score, Dallas 10, Berwick 10. You're listening to Bulldogs Football and Sports Radio, WHLM.
Whether it's the heat of the preseason or the heart of the postseason, teams will always get a little boost from playing at home. Speaking of a boost at home, State Farm can boost your savings when you combine your homeowner's insurance with your auto coverage. So score 1 for the home team. Talk to State Farm agents Lori Powell or Sean Black in Berwick, or Melissa Price in Nescapec about big savings for combining home and car coverage. Give State Farm agents Melissa Price, Sean Black, or Lori Powell a call today.
Berwick Bulldog football.
In the high school football scoreboard, in the 3rd, Danville leads Selinsgrove 24-0. In the 3rd, Southern Columbia leads Hughesville 55-0. And in the 3rd, Mount Carmel leads Bloomsburg 33-0. For WHLM Sports, I'm Raven Klein.
Berwick Bulldog football, HLM.
Good one going Crispin Field tonight. Dallas 7-1, Berwick 7-1. Nothing to choose between these two teams after 3 quarters of play. The score is tied at 10. We start the final period with Berwick in possession at the Dallas 49-yard line, moving from our left to our right, facing a 3rd down and 8. Obviously, with the quarter change, they've had a lot of time to think about this one.
Typically a passing down, but Ryan Lawbaugh just 2 of 4 with an interception. The running game has been strong, getting some chunks.
Lawbaugh out of the gun. Shoemaker to his left. 3rd down call coming. Cashman's snap is a good one. Lawbaugh play action. Fires a pass to the far side to Will Decker. He's very close to the 1st down yardage.
He should get it if they give him a true spot, Jim. He dove to get it. He was near the 40-yard line when it went down. Where will they spot it? Right now, the chain gang's not moving. Now they're going to move the chain. Wonderful. Semi-roll to the left. Will Decker only had about 4 yards at the time of the catch. So he had to run, get the chains, and with the dive, able to make just enough.
Just the 2nd catch of the season for the tight end, Will Decker. Berwick 1st and 10 at the Dallas 41-yard line, and now we will have a Bulldog timeout. 11:40 remaining in the game. Score tied at 10. You're listening to Berwick Football and Sports Radio, WHLM.
I'm Ken Pollock from Ken Pollock Ford, happy to embark on the 2018 football season. There's no greater thrill than being able to come together as a team to accomplish great things. That's how we are at Ken Pollock Ford, a big team working together to make sure our customers are taken care of and everyone gets a fair deal. The 2018 models are almost gone, but some great deals still remain, like the 2018 F-150 Super Crew XLT for just $299 a month for 36 months plus tax, $45.95 do-it signing, no security deposit, or 0% financing on most 2018 model year SUVs at Ken Pollock Ford, Route 11 Berwick. Lease price based on 10,500 miles per year. Offer expires 10/31/18.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptock. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
Berwick Bulldog football. WHLM Bloomsburg. WBWX Berwick. HLM.
11 minutes, 40 seconds to go in the game. We just had our first time out of the game called. It's by Berwick as they have a 1st down. They have it at the Dallas 41-yard line. Score tied at 10 early here in the 4th. Justin Robbins in the game, wide to the left side. Wilk comes in motion right to left. Play action, long ball back to pass, fires to the sideline, has Blake Maurer at the 30, and Maurer brought down at the 29-yard line.
They're giving him room. Christian Motley had to come up, but he gave him way too much room to stop and make the catch. We saw that early with the Tegan Wilk play. So far in this half, Ryan Lawbaugh 3 for 3 passing.
And 2 good strikes on this possession. Last one of 12 yards to Blake Maurer. Berwick first down at the Dallas 29-yard line early here in the 4th. Bulldogs trying to break this 10-10 deadlock. Lawbaugh rolls right to throw. Stops, plants the feet. Nothing there. It fires at the last minute. Incomplete. Did a great job of getting that pass off. He was in the grasp of Matt Ferrara.
Matt Ferrara, he also had number 52 in the same area. Xander Shaner fronting him. I'm surprised he was able to get that off and not suffer the sack, but he man-to-man in the area, threw it toward him in a short manner where it's going to go out of bounds.
Second down and 10. Berwick at the Dallas 29-yard line.
That's 3 passes in a row from Berwick, Jim?
It is.
I believe it is.
Will Decker wide to the tight end to the left. Justin Robbins wide to the right. Here comes Wilk in motion. Keeping the ball is Lawbaugh off the right side. The quarterback is over the 20, running hard, carrying tacklers inside the 15-yard line. An attitude run by quarterback Ryan Lawbaugh.
Yes, it was. Tegan Wilk led the way, and they never really were able to square up. They slowed him down 10 yards into the run. And then at the end of the run, for some reason, a Dallas player decides to block a Berwick player. I'd have thrown a flag for intentional roughness. He has no reason to block a Berwick player well away from the play.
15 yards on the carry by Ryan Lawbaugh. Berwick threatening to take the lead here early in the 4th. First and 10 at the Dallas 14-yard line.
Lawbaugh has 91 yards rushing.
Lawbaugh out of the pistol. Gives the ball to Shoemaker. He has some room up the middle, inside the 10 and down to the 9-yard line.
He's powering, Jim. Berwick's line is powering. He ended up going over the center that time, running hard behind Aaron Cashman, just off his left hip, and then pushing the pile. Stretch it out, and it's going to be close to 6 yards for him. Dallas has a lot of two-way players. Normally 5, but we're seeing that Michael Anderson's going 2 ways, make it 6, and a lot of these big guys can wear down in the 4th quarter. Berwick's grinding it now.
2nd and 5. Berwick at the Dallas 9-yard line. Lawbaugh waits the shotgun snap. Wilk comes in motion. The call goes to Shoemaker. Owen Shoemaker is stripped of the football, and Dallas is on at the 11-yard line. Shoemaker stripped. Berwick turns it over for the 2nd time.
Michael Anderson recovers. He broke out of the arms of 2 of the big guys. Michael Anderson, one of them. I mentioned they're fatigued. They're not able to hold on. But as he got another step, the ball's kind of punched out of his arms, comes back toward the line of scrimmage. And Michael Anderson, who had lunged at him, is in the area to recover the fumble.
So Dallas takes over at the 11-yard line. Berwick's terrific drive comes to an end. And now with 9:53 to go, and the score tied at 10. Dallas with the football, moving from our right to our left. Starbuck under center. High formation behind him. Starbuck gives the ball to Lenny Kelly. He's going nowhere.
Oh, who's there? Who's there at the bottom? Mason Lawbaugh, playing left defensive tackle. Shucked his guard at the line of scrimmage, threw him back into the play. Tackled the receiver, is going to give him a 2-yard loss. A dominant play there by Mason Lawbaugh, all by himself, just out-muscling the man trying to block him and taking on that strong running back.
Lawbaugh has to come off with an injury. It looks like a cramp of some sort as Noah Craig replaces him on the defensive front for the Bulldogs. Dallas 2nd down and 12. Mountaineers at their 9-yard line. And we have a timeout called by Dallas. 9:15 to go. Score tied at 10. You're listening to Berwick Football on Sports Radio WHLM.
If you have a child that's interested in gymnastics, or if you've been practicing the sport for years, then Access Gymnastics Academy is where you want to be. Their dedicated coaches will teach you everything you need to know to perform your best, from the basics of flexibility, form, and style to advanced techniques that will improve your rhythm and style during a routine. Call Heidi Rebuck at Access Gymnastics Academy at 570-441-5969. That's 570-441-5969. Now enrolling for beginner to advanced classes at 917 East 7th Street in Bloomsburg.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptock. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
Berwick Bulldog football. WHLM Bloomsburg. WBWX Berwick. HLM.
You know, Andy Lickney from Crispin Field in Berwick. Final regular season home game for the Bulldogs of Berwick, but they're hoping to possibly play 2 more games here. That will happen, or a chance of it happening, if they get the 2nd seed. And to do that, they have to win this game over Dallas. The score is tied at 10, 9:15 remaining. Dallas following their timeout, 2nd and 12 at their own 9-yard line. Starbuck gives the ball to Kelly. Kelly tries the middle, trying to break free, turns and spins and gets out to the 20-yard line.
He's good. He's just a good runner. Looked like it was stuffed up. He waited for the hole to open, knifed his way through from left to right. And then in the secondary, it's Tegan Wilk who's able to spin away from that one before the other corner brings him down. Strong run by a very determined running back, Lenny Kelly.
3rd down and 1. Berwick had Dallas backed up at a 2nd and 12 inside their 10. But Kelly makes this very doable. And he is the likely ball carrier on 3rd down and 1. Starbuck. No, he's going to throw the football and rolls out right and gets the first down and then some and breaks into the secondary over the 30 out to the 33-yard line. Fake to Kelly gets attention. Starbuck runs it outside for the first down.
Eric Montez maintained his backside pursuit and eventually did make the tackle. He's a wonderful ball handler, Jim. He's great with the fakes. He took it to the right side. He's a left-handed quarterback looking to throw, but I think the notion was if I see the yard, I'm going to get it. And he saw that he'd have at least that yard before he ends up being pulled down from the backside pursuit of Eric Montez.
13 yards on the carry by quarterback Michael Starbuck. 1st and 10, Dallas at their own 33-yard line. The give straight ahead to the fullback and a pickup of just about 2 to the 35.
Right, Berwick keeping fresh people, and it's Mike Salutko. Normally we see him at offensive tackle, but he's getting a little shift. Here he's coming off as Berwick changes personnel yet again. The 4th quarter with Berwick's platooning should have them fresher. People are all going to play with desire, but boy, the conditioning is so hard. 5, if not 6 players going 2 ways for Dallas. Berwick wants to use its conditioning to stop them.
That was Muser on that 2-yard run to the 35-yard line. 2nd down and 8. Kelly gets the ball off the right side. He's got the first down. Lenny Kelly out to the 44-yard line, having a big night running the football.
135 yards by my count. He's a power back behind a power offensive line. Ran over the right guard. Able to find that seam and drag players.
9 yards on that carry by Kelly. 1st and 10, Dallas at their 44. Clock running, 7:15 to go in the game. Score tied at 10. Luke Delgadio wide to the right. Matt Moransky wide left. Starbuck under center. Fake to Kelly, back to throw. Looking long downfield into double coverage, incomplete. Delgadio, the intended receiver, Tegan Wilk and Peyton Williams, both there. Excellent position for Berwick.
Yeah, they're playing a 3-deep coverage. The corner stayed with him as he's running a post pattern from the right side, and the free safety dropping into coverage. Thrown too deep for anyone to get at it. Will Decker now coming off as he's played some defense, spelling some of those starters.
2nd down and 10. Mountaineers from their 44-yard line. Kelly the call off the right side. Lenny Kelly this time with very little yardage. Not a yard to the 45. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and long.
Antonio Barada in the middle of the scrum that brought him down, but he had the arms with the good rip. So 3rd and long coming up. If they don't make it here, they're going to be forced to punt.
6:35 remaining in this one. Berwick 7-1. Dallas 7-1. What you might expect. Score tied at 10. Big 3rd down call. Starbuck under center. Starbuck play action, back to throw, fires to the far side, incomplete. Intended for Delgadio. Pass sailed over his head at the Berwick 39-yard line. 4th down, punt team on for Dallas.
He ran a deep comeback pattern to the sideline, and he was open. But the ball did sail on Michael Starbuck, the lefty here in this half. 0 for 4 passing. He was 1 for 3 in the first half, so Berwick has really created problems for Michael Starbuck. Normally throws at 57%. Here in this game, 1 of 7.
Michael Anderson has a big leg. That kick not particularly long, though. Takes a high hop, and Tegan Wilk can't handle it, and it's loose inside the 15-yard line, and Dallas is on the football. Wilk comes up at the last moment, gets his hands on it, and he was clobbered. The ball popped loose. Dallas with a great opportunity at the lead with 6:08 to go.
Dylan Schuster on the recovery, Jim, and it was very easy one. Berwick is trying to make plays it shouldn't play. The play is catch the punt in the air, and again, they don't catch it in the air. Once it's bouncing, why take that risk? A man is bearing down, a man as dangerous as Dylan Schuster. The ball bounced high near his head. He tried to grab it. He never got good control of it. It takes one bounce sideways, and Dylan Schuster's on top of it. You're going to give this game away.
I formation behind the quarterback, Michael Starbuck. Slot to the left side. Dallas from the 14-yard line. They give us to Kelly straight ahead. Lenny Kelly will pick up a couple.
Jake Seeley coming down very hard. They've been working him up into the defensive line, almost like a stand-up defensive end, anticipating the run. There he comes down hard on Kelly and limited to a short 2 yards.
3rd turnover of the second half for Berwick. Dallas trying to cash in with 5:35 to go and the score tied at 10. The ball at the Berwick 12-yard line. 2nd down and 8 Mountaineers.
They did a dangerous job before, letting a punt bounce and then trying to pick it up. This time they're going to be forced to pay for it.
Kelly is the tailback in the eye. Starbuck gives to Kelly off the left side. Gets inside the 10 down to the 8-yard line. He'll pick up about 4 in the play. 3rd down and 4 for Dallas.
And Dallas's version of the counter tray, and they ended up turning it up inside behind that big lineman Michael Anderson, who was holding to the left, and they turned it up inside tight. Big play here. Berwick needs to hold and at least force the field goal attempt.
Dallas looking for 7 on this 3rd down and 4. Muser is the fullback ahead of Kelly in the eye. There's a slot to the left. From the 9, they give us to Kelly off the right side. Lenny Kelly will not get the first down, and the decision for Rich Manella.
Double dive action. Muser went left, Kelly went right. He took the ball, and Berwick smothers it. It's a good 5 yards. We're seeing 4 different people coming in, and one looks to be the kicker, Jim.
So Ryan Fisher will try to give Dallas the lead. His clock winding down, 4:15 to go in the game. The hold will be at the 16-yard line. Matt Moransky does the holding. So this will be a 26-yard field goal attempt by the left-footed Ryan Fisher to give Dallas the lead. Snap is there. Placement. Kick is up, and the kick is good. From 26 yards out, Ryan Fisher gives the Mountaineers the lead. 3:54 to go in the game. Dallas 13, Berwick 10. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio WHLM.
Welsh's Towing and Repair proudly supports the Berwick Bulldogs and wishes them a successful year. Welsh's Towing and Repair has a long tradition of helping. You can call Welsh's 24/7 at 759-9737 if you are in need of a tow, jump start, tire change, are locked out, or to request them on scene if you're in an accident. Welsh's accepts all major insurance and motor clubs, and they offer all types of preventive maintenance and state inspections for cars, trucks, and motorcycles. Welsh's Towing and Repair, South Mercer Street in Berwick, and at their South Center Storage Facility, Columbia Boulevard in Berwick.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptock. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
Berwick Bulldog football. WHLM Bloomsburg. WBWX Berwick. HLM.
Dallas takes advantage of a Berwick fumble on a punt return, and they get the 26-yard field goal from Ryan Fisher, and they take the lead by a score of 13-10 as Fisher's kick be fielded Up the middle by Tegan Wilk to the 20, to the 25. Dancing around at the 30 and spun down right there with 3:44 to go in the game.
Duke Delgadio eventually penning him in as people maintain their lanes.
So how big are turnovers in this fourth quarter? Berwick had a 2nd down and 5 at the Dallas 9 when Shoemaker fumbled. And then they hold Dallas. The punt is fumbled, and that leads to the field goal. And Dallas with a 13-10 lead, still 3:44 to go. Berwick with 2 timeouts remaining, and they have it their own 30.
And Dallas has to be fatigued. 6 two-way players, maybe even more, as they've kind of loaded up, trying to get their best athletes on the field. Berwick needs to get the intensity going and move these tired players out.
Law ball under center. Gives the ball to Shoemaker off the left side. Shoemaker is hit and dropped, but he picked up 5 to the 35-yard line.
Nice blocking. Berwick with the counter tray. Noah Craig among the people pulling from right over to the left side. He's on his man at the point of the tackle.
Craig, who was injured earlier, got up slowly, wanted to get back to the line of scrimmage, but got up a little too slowly, and officials are going to send him off.
Yeah, and he's coming trotting off, not even limping off. It was the calf that he had sort of been holding earlier. Doesn't seem to be a real problem now. So we'll probably see one play after Justin Eckert. But he's a bulk in there, 297 pounds at that right guard position.
2nd and 5, Bulldogs from the 35-yard line. Lawbaugh gives to Shoemaker. Shoemaker up the middle will get about 2, maybe 3, bring up a 3rd down call. Clock continues to run. We'll be under 3 minutes to play in the game when the Bulldogs take this next snap as Justin Robbins, Blake Maurer, Sean Sheptock will check in. Noah Craig comes back on. Aiden Mason coming on. Berwick may need a timeout here.
Still 21 seconds, a late ready for play signal. Justin Eckert did a real nice job from the right guard, filling in for Noah Craig there. He came down hard inside, helped open up the seam, but things collapsed the other side of him.
3rd down and 3. Berwick at the 37. Play clock under 5. Wilk in motion. Lawbaugh fakes handoff, keeps the football, and gets the 1st down. Ryan Lawbaugh out to the 44-yard line.
Wonderful. Mike Salutko ended up on that backside somehow, probably pulling. Gave him a nice pancake block to set things up. Good ball fake as he goes to Owen Shoemaker on the right side, then pulls it out, changes directions off the left.
2:18, the clock running. Berwick 2 timeouts remaining. 7 yards on that carry by Ryan Lawbaugh, who takes the handoff, options right, keeps the football, lowers the shoulder, and a tough run out near midfield.
Give him a 100-yard game on that 4 or 5-yard run, Jim. He was at 98 previously. They've been forced to go with his number, as that's the type of plays that are opening. Overly aggressive defense, overplaying Owen Shoemaker.
2nd down and 5. Berwick not hurrying to play call. 1:44 remaining in this game. Lawbaugh in the pistol. Play action, back to throw. Fires to the sideline. Man open. Big hit on the sideline, but the catch is made at the 40-yard line for a 1st down.
Blake Maurer held on, Jim. They ran one man deeper, and he got behind the linebacker in that area. Cornerback saw it, stepped up, and he was going to deliver. But Blake Maurer would not be denied the catch despite the violent hit.
Maurer shaken up on the play.
Yeah, he would be.
That was
what a
huge
catch.
hit. Yeah, just to hang on to that ball as a 10-yard gain for Blake Maurer. Following this injury timeout, we'll have 1:28 to go in the game. Berwick trailing Dallas 13-10, and the Bulldogs with a 1st down at the Dallas 40-yard line.
They used 1 timeout earlier. They still have 2 left. The running game has had some plays where they've got the gashes, in particular when Ryan Lawbaugh with the slick ball handling is able to make that counter play go. But Owen Shoemaker on his own has had some gash plays as well. They're fatiguing this Dallas defense. It's going with 6 two-way starters, pounding at them very, very hard.
Maurer will be helped to the sideline.
putting no weight on his left ankle. Jim trying every 3 hops or so to get the left ankle down. But I don't think we're going to see more of Maurer in this game, that's for sure.
1:28 remaining in the game. Berwick trailing Dallas by 3. Bulldogs first down at the Mountaineer 40-yard line.
Referee Earl Harris holding everything up until Maurer clears the field. He's on the sideline now. Here's your ready for play signal.
Justin Robbins wide left. Sean Sheptock wide right. Tegan Wilk comes in motion, and a penalty, I think, coming against the Bulldogs.
Aiden Mason got a head start on the play, and since the man was in motion, it'll be 5 yards against Berwick. You get a little antsy. They're waiting for the injured player to get off the field. They've been standing in formation, even though not holding that. But, Aiden Mason a little too quick. He'll come to the sideline.
Alex Sharkuski is in for him, and Sharkuski lines up in a slot to the left. 1st and 15 now for Berwick. Toss and sweep left side. Tegan Wilk, nothing there. Forced out of bounds. Does stop the clock, but picks up just about 3.
I think he saw there was going to be nothing there and aware of clock management. Made sure he got out of bounds. Well, Berwick can take its time, be a little bit more deliberate on this particular play.
2 yards on the carry to the 43, and now Alex Force checks into that lineup for Berwick. He is a wide receiver to the left.
Very far, though, and at the line of scrimmage. Don't expect a double pass.
Lava has the snap. Fakes toss sweep. Back to throw. Big pass rush. He is hit. Drops the football. Picks it up. Heads toward the 40-yard line. The ball's on the ground. The ball's on the ground. Dallas claims they have it.
He started rolling away from pressure. A man reached at him, and I think he's rolling. He had 3 steps free, and he just dropped the ball. But he bent down, picked it up, and then tried to get back to the yard to gain. He's at the Dallas sideline where you think he'd get out of bounds easy enough. But such is not the case. A fumble occurs out of our purview, and Dallas able to get the recovery.
4 Berwick turnovers in this second half. And just 53.8 seconds remaining. Dallas can put this one away.
And Berwick will use its timeouts, but the kneel downs or safe runs into the middle of the line should be able to do it for Dallas. Turnovers were the problem in this one, Jim. Berwick played them even, if not outplayed them in many aspects. But turnovers are the killers.
Dallas at their own 40-yard line. Starbuck gives the ball to Kelly. Off the right, he's wrapped up by Mason Longbaugh. Berwick will use the timeout. We'll take one as well. 49 seconds to go. 13-10 Dallas. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio WHLM.
Northeast Pennsylvania, it's your home. And no matter what stage of life you find yourself in, what you rely on most is security. When that house becomes a home, the moment you get that new car, when your dreams become a reality, it's times like this when you have to look to the experts for advice and financial peace of mind. They're there with innovative products and services to help you with your financial future every step of the way. Together, they will help dreams and goals become reality. They are more than a bank. They're your neighbor. They are First Keystone Community Bank. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
This is Berwick coach Frank Sheptock. You're listening to Bulldogs football on WHLM.
Berwick Bulldog football. WHLM Bloomsburg. WBWX Berwick. HLM.
49 seconds remaining in the game. Desperation time for the Bulldogs. They have just one timeout remaining. And Dallas has the football at their 43-yard line. As the Bulldogs, after playing pretty flawlessly in that first half, turned the ball over 4 times here in the second half. At one point, inside the Dallas 10-yard line, another time setting up what looks like it's going to be the winning field goal by Ryan Fisher. As Starbuck under center, they'll still hand it off, and Lenny Kelly will go to the right side. Berwick will use the timeout. We'll keep it here with 45.7 seconds to play.
Jake Seeley putting a good hit on him. Playoff situations, you'd see Dallas in the number 2 seed, Berwick dropping to the number 3 seed. If that all holds and no other shakeups happen at the end of the season, I don't see it happening in Week 10. Then Berwick will have the one home game here at Crispin Field in Week 11. And then assuming they win and Dallas wins, it should be a trip up to Dallas for a rematch.
This ends a streak of 7 consecutive wins for the Bulldogs in this series. They lead the overall series. Now it'll be 16-5 after this game. Bulldogs had won 7 in a row, including 23-7 last season. For the last Dallas win, you have to go back to 2011 at Dallas. So this will be Rich Manella's first win as a Dallas coach over Berwick. It's a good football team.
Yes,
Very
it
good
is.
football team. They
Yes,
hit
it
hard.
is.
They play well. They've got a veteran quarterback. They've got a terrific running back. And it was a good football game. It's just the turnovers too much for Berwick to overcome.
Yeah, they can certainly win in a rematch. It's harder playing on the road. But avoid 5 turnovers, you certainly give yourself much better odds.
3rd and 7. 3rd down. The call goes to Kelly. He is brought down after a short gain on the play.
His only concern, ball security, running up the middle very, very safely. 4th and about 6. You'll see a punt most likely. I don't think you take the risk of not punting. But punting the ball in itself is a risk. But we're looking at big number 66, Mike Anderson, heading on back there. They want to make sure they get a good, sure snap and just get the punt off. How much time will be left?
Maybe
They're going
none.
to run it all the way down.
About, I think, 7 seconds by my count.
Would you punt it, Jim?
You know,
I don't know if I do.
Yeah.
I mean, Berwick, though, can try a throw to the end zone or toward the end zone, or interference gives them the opportunity. Coach Rich Manello coaches like it's college. You know, he has that history at King's College. In fact, he and Frank Sheptock have gone against each other quite a few times. And you have faith in your specialty teams. In fact, I think he had too much faith in Berwick's specialty team by not forcing them to punt at the end of the half. They're going to go in punt formation. They could short snap it to an up man and run it into the line and take a few more seconds off, but I don't think you want to give Berwick the ball on this side of midfield for one play.
Anderson back at the Dallas 30-yard line. Aiden Mason has joined Tegan Wilk deep for Berwick. Snap is important. Good snap. The kick is away. Line drive kick to the far side of the field. Will bounce and go out of bounds with 1.1 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Dallas came as advertised. Big offensive line that moved people off the ball. Strong runner in Lenny Kelly. I have him with 149 yards on the game. They held Michael Starbuck to just 1 of 7 completes passing, which is very, very hard to do. I think in a rematch with Dallas, you're going to see a better passing effort out of Michael Starbuck. You can't really expect that each time. And Berwick shot themselves in the foot a few times too many with their turnovers in this one. They'll have one play unless there's a penalty.
Bulldogs at their own 30-yard line. 3 receivers to the right. Fastest of that group, Sean Sheptock, obviously a prevent defense for Dallas. Ball back to throw. Fires, has the completion. There's a flip to Tegan Wilk. He's at the 45 and tackled at the 46-yard line. Justin Robbins caught the pass at the 46-yard line and flipped it on what will be the final play of this game. Dallas celebrating. They win. The final score, Dallas 13 and Berwick 10. You're listening now to the post-game show brought to you by the law offices of Lutz and Petty and by your local State Farm agents, Lori Powell, Melissa Price, and Sean Black. By the way, tonight's Fairfield Chrysler Jeep Dodge MVP is Mason Lawbaugh. Did a great job on that defensive line. Stopped Dallas on 4th and less than a yard early in the game. Later had a key quarterback sack for the Bulldogs at the end of the season. Mason will receive a trophy from Wagner's Trophies and Engravables in Bloomsburg. We'll have the stats with Andy Ligney. I'll wrap things up with the scoring, and later on, Raven Klein with the high school football scoreboard. Final here is 13-10, Dallas over Berwick. You're listening to Bulldogs football on Sports Radio WHLM.
Fall is here, and so are the savings. At Fairfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, there are no tricks, just plenty of treats. We have the best prices, and our service is second to none. That's why we've won the prestigious Customer First Award.